Welcome back to Numbers on the Board.
Numbers on the board, yes.
Woo. Game 2 of the NBA Finals was a finish.
It was something.
Okay.
It was something. I'll tell you that.
It was a put you to bed.
Jay Holiday.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I like that. I'ma put you to bed.
Either way, we're going to talk about it.
And I'm
Plus
gonna rock
more.
your body.
Before we get into the episode, I'm going to remind you to leave a like and subscribe. A lot of big things going on in the Enjoy Basketball realm, so be sure to go to Teed Up with Pierre and Dreesen, Small Ball with Kenny Beecham. For the NBA Draft, we got something very special. I don't know if we're supposed to announce it just yet, but know that we are working partially through the NBA Draft, so we got a lot of things going on, and I just saw a report that Brian Windhorst said that a lot of things are going to be going down around the NBA Draft this year. Trades, so on and so forth. So
They should be.
Jam-packed. How we feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling amazing. I got a little energy on me. You know, I feel like once it gets to this part of the season, a lot of things die down to talk about, but that's when you got to bring the most energy.
I would agree. I'm feeling pretty good.
How about you bring segments?
Oh, true.
Energy don't mean nothing if we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, because I'm retiring Unplug. So
Don't retire Unplugged.
We're going to need some more segments. I'm retiring Unplug. I went on Instagram one time and I seen an Unplug account with your face on it.
Why? I know. I've seen that account.
I think we own that account.
Yeah.
And you can't own that account. Unplug is my thing.
Oh.
You ain't trademarked that, brother.
That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? So can't own something that ain't theirs. We gotta relax on that. You gotta unplug with somebody else's face on it. You know,
I'm pretty sure
shut
Christian
up.
made that account.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
You putting stuff on Christian name.
my bad. I thought he was the one that ran it.
I'm feeling good though. I'm feeling how I look. You know what I'm saying? I like that Mike is a hat man now. I feel like this is what back-to-back episodes you got a hat on.
I usually wear hats.
You wearing an NIU warm-up. That's pretty interesting.
You know he went to school there?
It's just a jacket. It ain't necessarily a warm-up.
Shout out to Jaden
It
Dolphin,
looked
man.
like a warm-up. It looked like a warm-up jacket.
How would I get a warm-up? I don't know nobody on their team.
Oh.
That would be crazy. You just walk in here with warm-ups. Got a Duke warm-up. Don't know nobody.
You know
on
what I
Duke.
was thinking we got to do one day when we hoop?
What we got to do?
I got to wear my Tyrese jersey. You got to show Andrew
Hey, you going crazy. Yeah. Hell yeah.
I'll get a mouse turn.
No, Thomas Bryant is what you're going to get.
Uh-oh. KB,
That might be hard. That might be
McConnell.
No,
hard.
he's getting
I'm not
the Jackson.
hooping.
What's
I'm getting
Jackson first
the
name?
Rick Carlisle.
Isaiah Jackson?
No,
Quentin Jackson?
yeah, Quentin Jackson.
Is he even on the roster still?
Yeah, I seen him in the playoff
Okay.
game. Talking about Rick Carlisle.
I'll get the
You
Rick
know
Carlisle.
Damn coach.
I'll get
Be
the
damned
cup.
if you draw up a play and I'm going out there to do it.
I'll get the cup and I'll just spit in it.
Oh, okay.
The Rick Carlisle way.
I think that gives the team a chemistry boost when he does it. That's why
Is he
it's
chewing
like,
tobacco? Is that what?
No, they just said he has a lot of mucus.
Oh.
He's an old guy.
And he can't
Ah.
spit.
Old people spit.
Y'all all
It's a
in his
little gross.
business.
Whenever I see somebody spitting, I assume that they doing tobacco.
Really?
Like repeatedly, yeah. If you're doing it a lot, I assume you.
If you have a spit cup,
Yeah.
then I guess.
Spit cups are typically some sign of that person's chewing tobacco.
I've seen you spit a lot.
I've seen Terrence with a wad this big before, just in his lip.
'Cause he ain't
Just-
know who he hanging with.
Hey, that's that baseball player thing.
Exactly.
That's that baseball.
But you can't do that in baseball no more, right?
I don't know.
Why you can't do it in
I'm
baseball?
pretty sure they can only chew gum now. Like
Since
they
when?
can't do the tobacco thing no more.
Since when?
I'm pretty sure they got banned.
For real?
Yeah.
I was going to say,
There
you're
we
just
go.
looking up.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I wonder why they would have banned
They
that.
said only big league chew from now on.
I used to take
In
a
2016, MLB and the MLB Association agreed to ban smokeless tobacco for all new players, prohibiting the use in jersey and being televised in interviews.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it's an optic thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You don't want to show the kids that you
Look at
got, again,
you.
a wad of dip. And
Yeah.
It's too late.
Yeah, I remember it came out that they can only chew gum now. So
I don't
late.
even remember them ever really doing it too much. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
the
watched a lot of
pitchers-
baseball over the
pitchers
last
do it
couple
a
of
lot.
years. No, I'm talking about these last couple of years. So when
Oh,
you said that,
yeah,
I was like, that
yeah.
kind of does make sense because I don't feel like I've seen it recently.
But yeah, y'all a little too late. I watched it for 20 years. Big League Chew was to mimic it. We thought it was cool.
they ain't want the new kids to be
Right.
influenced by it.
Oh yeah, they weren't
They
gonna do
said
it
you already
anyway.
influenced. We ain't worried about you.
They weren't gonna do it anyway. They were gonna get a vape.
Oh, that's true. They was
They ain't
gonna
trying
be
to put
vaping
on tobacco. They just get a vape.
vaping on the mount.
Yeah.
Vaping on the mound.
Right in the back pocket.
100-mile fastball right after you see a crowd of vape smoke. But yeah, some of my favorite players used to have crazy tobacco. Just
I've seen it, and I never was influenced by it. There's certain things that you can see people. I just don't get influenced. Like it doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
everybody
haven't.
has to be their own person at the end of the day.
no, I agree. I definitely looked at it. It was like on some.
So you never
Facebook
thought
stuff.
about using Zens? 'Cause
No,
that's
hell
what the kids
no.
are doing nowadays.
I would never pop a pill. I hate taking medicine. Why would
Is
I
that
take
what it
medicine
is?
for fun?
I don't
What?
even know what it is.
I didn't know what it is. I know there's a
Zan?
dude.
Oh,
that
no,
No,
be-
not a Zan, a
Right.
Zen.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought you said.
I thought you said he's. I thought you said
Not
Zan.
Xanax.
No, he said
Xanax is
Zen.
2016.
Yeah, he said
Z-Y-N.
Zen.
What's
Z-Y-N.
ZYN. It's yeah, it's a nicotine
It's a
something.
dude
Oh,
on
and anything
TikTok that be
nicotine,
putting
no.
Zen on like an anthill every day, like trying to get them addicted to it. That should be getting a lot of like a
That's-
lot of people follow that shit too.
That's kind of like Gru from Despicable Me type shit.
Yeah,
It's evil, but not too evil. You
He
know,
has
Because
a
it's
like,
still like,
where
why
it's-
your mind work like that?
He be tapping on like the top of it, and like they're so accustomed to it now that they run up to the top and they start looking for it. So they're actually addicted.
Yeah, I also don't think like when you watch when I watched baseball growing up, and I seen Gary Sheffield have a mouthful of tobacco swinging his bat back and forth. I never grew up and ran to the store to buy tobacco. You just mimicked it as a kid. It's the same thing as like blowing a kiss at the free throw line. I didn't actually do that in my game when I watched Jason Kidd do it, but as a kid, like, look at Jason Kidd, he blowing a kiss, so I'm gonna blow the kiss. And then I actually started playing. I didn't blow no damn kiss. But you mimic things as a kid. But it was nasty looking.
Yeah,
Your
It's
teeth was
definitely
all
nasty.
stained and stuff.
it leads to like mouth and tongue cancer and stuff like that.
Not a good thing. Don't try it at home, kids.
don't try that at home.
Please don't.
Let's take a break to get into Drop the Mic.
My least favorite segment.
A new generation of Toyota drivers are here, and they want you to know one thing. You can't stop my drive. Toyota, let's go places. Today's Drop the Mic presented by Toyota. Does the finals logo not being on the court bother y'all?
Yeah, but then again, they dropped the little ass trophies, and I was
and
like, you know what? It don't matter no more.
Yeah, it does matter. Because I feel like they did that in response to some of the people talking about the logos on there. Those little trophies were weak as hell on that court.
I just think the branding in general is just really bad. I mean, the only thing we really have outside of them little ass trophies is that on the scoreboard it says finals.
Yeah.
But like the sideline doesn't say finals. A broadcasting or like the scores table doesn't say finals. It doesn't really have that feel. And then when you have a game too where it's a goddamn blowout, it really don't feel like the finals because it don't look like the finals. So I would say it does bother me. But like, what am I gonna not watch it because it's not there? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess optically it doesn't feel like a finals game. Like I think if like a casual fan was to tune in, they would probably think it's just a normal regular season game. But it does bother me. a
Hopefully the
little bit.
casual fan is aware of this NBA finals.
I thought
I
about
don't
that.
want to disrespect the
I
casual
thought about
fan
that
that
too
much.
because game one when they didn't have anything, like you said, you could just see it on the little the scores table. I was thinking like, man, if somebody just walked in and just started watching this game, they might not know this shit is a finals.
Yeah, that's
game.
kind of how I was looking at it. Like you just went into a restaurant and saw that game was on, and you don't really watch basketball that much. You might not know that that's a finals game just because of the feel of it, or like the trophies not being on there. Like they probably be used to seeing a certain different version.
Sure.
Of
Like if you're a diehard NHL fan and you just
Yeah.
so happen to flick through the
Yeah.
channel, you may not know that this NBA Finals season.
But I was looking into it though, because again, it's been a conversation that just kind of came up since the finals are here or whatever. But they took it away like almost over a decade ago. So when they took it away, they said it was like a distraction on the court. It's a little weird because they have like the in-season tournament courts are like the craziest courts you could probably put together.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no way you could tell me that in-season court can be a distraction, but finals trophies are.
I think the broadcast in general doesn't feel NBA Finals. Like we don't get. I just remember you got the
you
the
talking about, like,
lineups. You got to see the lineups in the arena as they're announcing it. From Kentucky, 6'6". Like you don't get that anymore. It's just like here's 30,000 ads and then the tip off. We don't get no arena feel thing. Like they do the pregame show, but that's like as people are walking in. I want to see as soon as that buzzer goes off and we're about to announce the people and the crowd goes wild and the arena goes dark. I need that vibe because that's what gets you pumped up. If we just go from ads to tip off, it just doesn't leave a lot for the fan to get excited about.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just the day and age that we in. Everything is so fast food.
And
Get to it.
2026 is also ABC, ESPN as well. So none of the new broadcasters could come in and like switch some things up. This is what we just.
I also
this is
feel
what we
like
got.
people would do that. I think they would do that, and people would find a way to complain about that too.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Well,
I mean,
it's
well,
taking
I'm
so
sure there's
long to
always
start.
People
Sorry.
always complain nowadays. It
Why
don't
we
matter
can't just
what
get to the
it is.
game?
Yeah.
Why you really going? They really got to show the lineups. I'm not at the game.
I think that's a good point though. When they do be showing the starting lineups and everything like
When
that.
I was a kid, I used to get up
does
and
get you
do
up.
the Star Spangled Banner. I used to do it with the players.
Damn, you thought you was on the team.
I for
Definitely
sure,
thought you was on the
for sure thought I was on a team. Hell yeah, I still remember the
Hey, you
finals
was-
that was in my brain is the Pistons versus the Lakers,
He was dreaming of getting
and
drafted
you
by the
would get
Knicks.
all of that, and I would be right up there with Cole, about to go to war with them. Just for them, they lost that series. That really
They
like,
needed you.
They needed me, man. They needed me. Devin George, watch out. So, what's my boy name? Mefedenko. Watch out, man. You remember Mefedenko?
Mm-mm.
But he had a nice mid-range jumper. It was like number 14 or whatever.
They
He used to
also
come off the bench.
they're still building the chemistry on the broadcast too, between Burke, Breen, and Jefferson. I think that's also a thing that like it's probably gonna take some time for them to really get going. And I guess there's reports that maybe Doris Burke is not even there next season to do the finals. So now we're back to a new broadcast booth, and it probably won't click immediately. So it's just a lot of optically. Luckily, we don't really care too much because it's about the basketball at the end
Yeah,
of the
we
day.
gonna watch regardless.
But I think there's some things missing.
Jeff. Mark Jackson and Jeff made it also feel important.
I agree with you, Darrick. I like whoever it's going to be, they need to be comfortable with it and set it in stone. I think that's one of my favorite things about the Super Bowl and the World Series. It's those voices that I know I'm constantly going to get that makes it a feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Al Michaels on the Joe Buck when I was growing up. So you knew certain voices you were going to get, their style and everything. One thing I will say to the NBA though is one thing that even all of us understand in the business of whatever entertainment, whatever. You're not going to be able to please everybody. So what I don't think they should do is hear a fuss and then put small ass trophies on the court. It's either you got to feel comfortable with whatever decision you want to make, and if you want to change, or you wait till next year and you bring that big thing out in the middle of the court, or you put that patch on the jersey in the front and not the back of it. But you trying to please people so much, you gonna make a fool of yourself. Dumb little ass trophies was weird.
They was kind of a smack in the face.
Yeah, that
And
was-
then they
was.
changed them too.
It was just like, yeah,
And
what
then-
what is that about? You know what I mean? That's just like,
They was like, here, y'all was asked for something. we'll give y'all something.
yeah, and it made them look even worse.
It
So
did.
I don't like that. Whatever decision y'all make, be comfortable, reassess it in the off season, and go about it that way. But they got to have some type of confidence in what they're doing. When they do shit like that, I feel worried because it make me feel like they don't have a grip on what they want to do entirely. And I can be behind whatever you're confidently in. If you confidently think that the trophy in the middle of the court was a distraction, let's ride out with it. And then next season you can say, oh, maybe we overdid it. We hurt the people. But it's just, it's like, come on, man.
I kind of like the idea of the teams owning like what they want to put on the court to make like OKC feel like different than Indiana. Like the color's gonna be different in game number 3. Obviously, the crowd is gonna be different, but everything else will be the same. They probably don't go back to
Like
the
you
small
get
ass
to
trophies.
decide what decals are on.
Yeah,
your
like
court.
I
That'd
just
be cool.
maybe OKC's like we want the big ass thing there,
Oh, right.
and then Indiana's like no, we'd rather do something on the
We want the little
baseline.
ass trophy.
Yeah, we want the little trophies. Oh man, I don't know.
No, that would be a cool.
Because like
kinda
baseball
idea.
diamonds, everything is different. Even the size of the goddamn field is different. I don't want to go that extreme where now in Indiana they play on a 112-foot court instead of a 94-foot
Ain't no
court.
3-point line in the corners. PJ Tucker, we negating your
that's-
superpower.
Yeah, but it does kind of add to like the home court
would be kinda
advantage
funny,
type
though.
feel.
Yeah, right. Because we used to playing with no 3-pointers. Now what?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it in the G.
Just add custom and it just
They
put
do
it starting
everything in
in the
the G one
season.
time.
Starting the season too. So it's like, again, it's not even a playoff thing. This is how we run.
Or
when
how
we at
about
home
that's
court.
just for the in-season tournament? In the in-season tournament, we decide all of our home games we want our court to look
They
like
change
this.
the court anyway.
Right, exactly. Let's just get rid of them corners. Let's extend the 3-point. Now you got to hit a 30-footer for it to count the 3.
Yeah.
Or we get rid of it completely. Or it's a high school 3.
Or you just you move
you
it
make
back.
Somebody dropping
Hey,
85.
DeMar
The only
DeRozan
way
will
you
love
hit-
that.
Only way you hitting threes is if you hitting 40-footers.
Right, yeah. Let's just
No,
we
you
got
can't-
Steph.
yeah.
He could do that. So he the only person hitting threes.
You can't give Shea a
we're
high
gonna add a 4-point line on our court.
Giving Shea a high school 3 would be unfair.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they thought he was She's now, Imagine him with
He's
a high
the
school
first
three.
person that come to your mind with a high school three?
I think he said DeMar first.
I did say DeMar first.
Man, I'm thinking about the greatest three-point shooter of all time.
Them layups.
Steph is, man, he's now shooting 70% from three on a high school three.
True. I was thinking about the dudes that can just do it with fadeaways and posting up. Like, that's just
He
easy.
gonna walk right into that. Now you really got trouble guarding him. Because their NBA three is really his long-range three. But he can even hit further than that. So now you got to guard. You really do have to guard him at half court.
Yeah.
If those lines there, are you really taking that step in? Like, is the offense shrinking into that line?
What
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, with
Probably
the three-point
not.
line spaced out, like, there's just naturally more space. But if everybody's more in, you're not going to have as much space. So if I'm a three-point shooter, I'm probably standing behind the three-point line versus the damn high school line.
I don't know.
So you're saying the offense will be more compact and like
It would have to be if
it-
everybody's trying to. If
But
you're giving
everybody
everybody a
wouldn't do
couple
that, though,
feet in,
because
I
the
think they would
three-point-
still play the same.
Yeah, the
Because I'm
three-point
used
line
to
would still be
shooting
there.
from where I shoot from.
But if I get a pick and roll and I'm Steph Curry and you try
it
to,
just counts if I'm taking a couple steps in.
yeah, I can. You at my mercy.
Yeah.
You're at my mercy. Because I can
We
hit
might
this
have
shot.
like 200-point games.
I can hit this shot, but I can also hit that one. And before we even had the high school three-point line, I was hitting them way back there. So now you got to really guard me at half court. I could get a screen at half court and walk into a three-point line, or I can and step in. Don't forget, Steph Curry ain't no slouch in the mid-range either.
What
So-
if one of the options was we could have a chain net? Just throw off the other team. Now you got to change
chain
sides.
that or double rim?
Oh, shit.
I
me
would
the
have a
double
chain,
rim,
chain
but
that decent.
Give
I
me
like the sound of a chain now.
Yeah.
Give me double rim. We just got to make sure every time, first half we have the double rim. Second half we got the regular.
Oh, it's only on one side of
It's
the court.
only on one side.
Oh.
So now you're really playing chess if we want the first half or the second half
Yeah.
double rim.
And don't
People
the,
gonna be telling it's gonna be two centers not jumping.
don't the road team get to decide too?
Like which basket they have
Yeah.
first. I don't need somebody decides.
They was talking about it on a broadcast the other day, and one of the announcers was talking about, as a coach, you want your defense on your side first.
I do like that you brought the banana back after last episode.
It's
him
on the
getting
other side of the
snubbed.
chair now.
Yeah, he new role in the offense. Shout out to him. Can
Right.
y'all tell that it's almost off season and that game 2 is kind of a dud? We ain't here to talk about fucking.
I thought,
chain
I
nets
thought the
and-
court shit was a good idea, man. It's probably never gonna happen, but in a hypothetical world, I think it would be extra cool.
Yeah. All right, let's get into game 2 of the NBA Finals. Final score ended up being 123-107 in favor of the OKC Thunder. They had the lead not all game long, but like once they got into double digits, there was no turning back, not like game number 1. And yeah, they go back to Indiana with a 1-1 series, and game 3 is tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I felt like in this game, I think Halliburton, he does this thing where he tries to feel the game out a little bit, and I just don't think that's going to work against OKC. I just think they're too good, too talented. You're not going to come back against them twice, especially on back-to-back nights. And he just has to be the one that throws the haymaker first. He has to come out swinging. He has to set the tone, set the pace. OKC had completely all control of this game. Shea came out swinging first. And I just think that the overall game from the OKC Thunder was just significantly better. I want to give a big shout out to Aaron Wiggins. He came in and gave them a huge spark off the bench with 6 threes. But I do think if you're Indiana, you do feel good. We split this. This is exactly what we want. Yeah, we wanted to get greedy and take 2. But sometimes you can't get greedy. You just got to kind of take what's on your plate. And honestly, they should be happy that they split it. And now you go home. Shit, if you protect home court,
You back
you're in the
feeling
driver's
good.
seat.
So you said a lot there. I want to break it down. The first point you made was that about Halliburton, which is a big topic of conversation after game 2. You wanted him to be the punch thrower or haymaker guy. What does that look like to you? Because obviously it's different for him compared to like another, like Anthony
Jay.
Edwards or somebody like that. So what does it look like for Halliburton in your opinion?
I mean, just getting his shots. I mean, getting to the paint, getting to the basket. Just kind of just. It seems like sometimes he can just kind of just be, just literally getting the feel for the game, and he's trying to get everybody else involved. Whereas I think if he gets himself involved, it does nothing but just open up the game for everybody else.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, and not even just shots, but again, just going to get the ball and being aggressive in that way, I think can make a little bit of a difference, because there's times where they're kind of denying him the ball, and all of a sudden he might not touch it for that possession, or maybe 2 possessions in a row. Him just getting the ball, and I think the aggressive thing is just getting 2 feet in the paint. 2 feet in the paint, and then he's a good enough basketball player to kind of go from there. But 2 feet in the paint is my big thing for him.
Absolutely.
It's such an interesting conversation because the way he plays basketball is just different than any other star that we have in basketball. That what y'all saying is 100% true. Like I think he went into the fourth quarter with 5, 3, and 2 was his stat line, which is just like unacceptable for anybody that we deem to be a star. And I'm not saying super, I'm just saying star because the motherfucker made 2 All-NBA teams in back-to-back years. But I've been seeing some conversations about like, see, this is what Anthony Edwards did when he had an off game. It's like the way these 2 players play basketball is so dramatically different that I can't look at Anthony Edwards going out with 32 shots and be like, yep, now Tyrese Halliburton got to do that because that's what works for his team and that's what works with Anthony Edwards. Mm-hmm. They just don't play the same brand of basketball. They don't even come close to playing the same brand of basketball. If Halliburton gave us 32 shots, I would check his forehead for his temperature because his ass is sick for some reason.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying he has to come out and be Anthony Edwards. I'm just saying be more aggressive. 5 points going into the fourth quarter is unacceptable. Mm-hmm. There's no way this team isn't gonna beat OKC with him playing like that.
Agreed.
Because like it just makes it so much easier.
It goes back to the conversation Mike asked me at the baby shower, and I think I brought him to the show. How many times did we think that he would score 20 plus in this series? And I think I looked at Mike and said, "Damn, he might, maybe one, maybe 2." Like,
yeah.
Based on who OKC is as a defensive team and based on the times we see of Halliburton being passive, I just didn't think it was a great recipe for him to have the 35, 15, and 10 game or whatever he gave the Knicks.
It's got to click for Tyrese that even if it's not the 30 shot, we don't want him going out there and just jacking up shots, but like I have to be aggressive for my team to have a chance. And also, it's just as simple as we
need to feel like you were on the court.
Yeah.
More than anything.
And also I think this is the NBA Finals. This is like the big moment. You're not going to go into an NBA Finals where you have weaker defenders going against you. Everybody's going to have elite defenders on them at all given times. So this is the stage where you have to do it at a high level or you're never going to win a championship. Mm-hmm. So like you just can't say that this isn't who he is. Well, they'll never win a championship if he's never able to get to that level because, like, when you get to the NBA Finals, you're never going to not have elite defenders on you. We got here because we have elite defenders. So you gotta be able to prove it at some point.
Now that you said that, P, with his watch, you said that on last episode or when we were shooting that video. Now I can't not hear it when he does it now.
I don't even notice I do it.
Yeah. He's a fidgeter.
He's a fidgety guy, man. Fidgety guy. Do you do coffee in the morning? Yeah, right?
No, I haven't had coffee in a few days.
Okay.
I haven't had coffee.
I'm not telling you get off your game. It never comes up on the podcast, so it doesn't matter. But now I hear it, and now I'm thinking about it. So keep doing you. You in your bag right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't notice he was a fidgeter until we was in there. He kept, and it was
with
like,
the pen?
It makes sense. Yeah. Whenever he got something, he go.
Okay, check out the Enjoy Basketball YouTube channel. We've been dropping content over there pretty regularly, and it's been pretty damn fun. So Halliburton, a big topic of conversation. I thought in the fourth quarter, they started to run things a little bit differently with his aggression, where he's playing off the ball more, but involved in the actions while being off the ball. I don't know. I think we mentioned this on the Linear Show, how much of that was just OKC being like, we up about 20 with 8 minutes to go, we good this time? Or what percentage of that was like, oh, we may have found something if we were Rick Carlisle. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But that was like the main thing that I took away from it for Halliburton's game. And he went to the podium and he talked about having to figure out this defense. And it makes me feel like we are about to get an aggressive game, whatever that looks like. I thought he actually started off the game relatively aggressive. He took 3 shots. He got his foot in the paint 2 times, and both of them ended up in 3-point looks for Neesmith. It just, you know the stat that if he misses first shot, then he's going to take 5 less shots in the game. Like, and that's what it felt like it ended up being, because he definitely came out with like 3 shot attempts in the first quarter, 2 paint touches, and 2 kickouts. And I don't think either of them resulted in points. I thought that was like
a contribute from the pace that they were playing at, because even OKC was turning the ball. Both teams was turning the ball over in the first quarter, and that's how we kind of got all those lead changes. And then the commentator says we already got like 3-4 lead changes. We only had 1 last game. Mm-hmm. So I honestly thought that was going to be an indication that it was going to be like a good game for the most part. But I thought game 2 kind of painted the picture of how uphill the battle is for the Pacers. Like, it's going to you're going to have to find a way to have Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal be effective against this team, like, consistently. Like, you're going to have to find a way to turn OKC over, too. I thought they did a really good job of doing that, where they were getting out of transition and being aggressive. Like, there's a lot of things you have to work on, and I thought it showed in game 2.
I thought Jason Wallace and Caruso did a good job of that when they were being posted up by Siakam. They did a good job of fighting and making those passes extremely hard to get in. And so that pretty much eliminated their second option because he couldn't get the ball.
Yeah.
So that I want to give a hat off to them for that because sometimes that could be hard for a smaller guy to really fight. You got to fight to really get that position on a bigger guy like Siakam.
Also, I'm thinking about, I feel like you have to kind of defend how you were in that game too. OKC did not shoot the ball well. Aaron Wiggins and Alex Caruso came out and hit a lot of big threes, but as a team, they didn't really shoot as crazy as you think they would. Like Alex Caruso and Wiggins boosted that up.
Yeah, and you also got to look at some of those shots Caruso and Wiggins was hitting probably not going to hit in Indiana.
Boys was hitting pull-up threes.
Yeah.
No,
Aaron Wiggins
Caruso was hitting some on the move.
Aaron Wiggins was
You remember that dribble? He did a dribble handoff for Hardenstein, and he came up, and I was like,
I was like,
when
some
that
of those
fall
you
is
have to live
GGs.
with. Like, I might have to be like OKC and say, you know what? We have to live with that. You know, like, we have to stick to, the bigger picture, and we going to defend the easy stuff. But if they going to hit stuff like that, you got to move on.
I should have brought my notebook, but I remember, I'm trying to figure it out right now. When Halliburton checked out of the game in the first quarter, a minute and about 30-some seconds left, they were only down by 1. That was right after a Chet 3. And I remember when he checked back into the game in the second quarter, it wasn't over, but like that 1-point lead from OKC ballooned. And it's like, damn, we have to try to survive. Like even in game number 1, they were plus 12 and Halliburton was on the court, a minus 12 when he was off the court. We have to be able to survive when your star player's not on the court. OKC did an amazing job of that in game number 2.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is like Wiggins putting Halliburton on the island and saucing them up and hitting the step back 3 and all of those things. And that's like one of the big differences for game 2.
I thought Chet's difference too.
Yeah, that
just,
little
him
run that he
playing.
went on was amazing.
Even like the opening bucket, it was just Case and Wallace getting downhill on
Halliburton.
That was on
and I
Hall-
was just like,
Yeah.
that's type of stuff. I understand you may not be the best defender, but certain things, when you got certain guys on, you got to take that matchup personally. You got to be able to at least hold your own. You can't just be a complete liability from no matter who's guarding.
I don't think he has been at all, though.
Finish. That was a tough finish by Kaysen too.
Yeah, but I do feel like everybody feel like they can go at him. Isaiah
I think
Joe
it's-
feel comfortable
that's a
going
game
at
plan.
I
him.
think it's the same thing of like, he's the worst defender on the court, so we got to do what we got to do. Just like how Steph Curry got hunted, but like Steph Curry wasn't a bad defender. I think Halliburton is less than an average defender, but he also hasn't been bad. You know what I mean?
He could be better.
Sure. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that was something JJ Redick talked about with him on the pod before JJ Redick was coaching and shit. It's like you got the tools to be pretty good. And this whole playoff run, I feel like whether it
He's
be the
shown the
game where he
effort.
got the stops against
He's
the
shown the
Knicks, or,
effort,
like
yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like
The
half the
Cavs.
battle for the Cavs. And then there was something that happened in that first series too against Milwaukee. Didn't he have a little stretch there against Milwaukee where they tried to hunt him and he was holding his own?
He got like 2 stops or something like that. Or he got
Maybe,
a stop and
but
then went to a
I
bucket.
think the difference is in those, what Darrick is talking about is Case and Wallace.
Mhm.
If Shea is going at you, they screening, and now you got to guard Shea. That's one thing. But Case and Wallace, I even saw in game 1 when Isaiah Joe created his own shot against you.
Yep.
Shit like that. Like you can't be giving up backdoor layups to Case and Wallace either. We're putting you on the offensive player that we think is the least impactful in their bunch right now, in their 5-man lineup that you're going against, and for them to start off the game. Ain't like it's the fourth quarter, you carried the team and the
That shit
whole
was the
offense.
first
It's the
possession.
first play.
That
They
was the
ain't
first
give it to
possession.
Shea. They didn't say, hey, Chet, get going. Case and Wallace win at you. That is an issue.
They
That's
put
all.
him in so many actions
That's
in
an
this
issue.
game. They made him work. They made
So
his ass work.
I agree in the sense of, is he the worst defender in the world? No, but I do think I agree with Darrick a little bit where it's the NBA Finals. And if you're not going to be scoring 20-plus points, you're not going to
Damn
be
sure
doing
can't
that.
be giving it up.
You cannot be giving it up. You
Yeah,
cannot.
yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. I just think Caruso should never outscore you.
That's
if you're
very
gonna
fair.
really be that guy, Caruso should not outscore you.
Yeah.
Caruso had 0 20-point games in the regular season. He's got 2 in the postseason.
Do y'all watch shots,
What do you mean?
or you just look like you just watch?
Like
Shot
how they're
look.
shooting, like their form.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Caruso shot some shots that I look. He released them, and I'm like, yeah, that shit
it's
is
all
all off. But it
Yeah.
went in.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he having one of them nights.
I be looking at follow throughs if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
you
that's
could,
part of the shot.
it is. I think a lot of times my brain kind of looks at it because it's like if I could tell how they react to how they feel, like as they release and does it look good, it's probably going.
I also look at how they feet.
You
set.
think so?
If they feet
I see a
set,
motherfucker do this. An airball. Confident as hell. That make you think. But no, I just look at like
Treat
Lou
him like,
Dort. I think Lou Dort's shot trajectory always look nice, especially when they go in. And I could see when Lou Dort's shot is going to go in because it's all on point. Now, obviously, sometimes it can look perfect and bounce out. But Caruso shit looked like it was going to the left and it somehow dipped in. And I was like, oh, yeah, he's having one of those
the ones
nights.
that bother me is the ones that are like super line drive.
Like Kawhi
I
Leonard.
hate
Mitchell
line
Robinson at the free throw line.
Yeah, I can't stand those type of
Throwing a
shots.
Randy Johnson fastball.
When they get
into
an
the
inch
rim.
above the rim, it's just like, how are you supposed to get the ball on the
You know who had the best line drive shot, right?
You gonna talk
Thank you,
about?
sir. Derrick Rose. I thought Derrick Rose shit used to be doink, hit the back.
I thought it was
I don't know
definitely.
that would be the best though.
I thought it was definitely Kawhi
His
Leonard.
ass
thought
don't
it
be
was
hitting them
Kobe.
shots.
Derrick Rose used to hit them motherfuckers.
Kobe shot used to be line drive too.
I think Kawhi is probably the best example.
Yeah, I think Kawhi is.
Yeah.
But when Derrick Rose in his prime and he had them motherfuckers going downhill and he had to stop on the dime, them motherfuckers used to.
You just go right in. That's how you feel like the NBA players with the height differences almost feels like you just kind of looking down at the rim. You
I
just
always
throw it
wanted
in.
that. Like
That's how I feel about Wemby when he shoot. Because his
Kinda
release
looks
point
down
is
in
so high.
Exactly. I don't think it would be nice to have them shoot with meta glasses
Yeah.
or a GoPro. I would love to see the perspective of Kevin Durant versus fucking Jalen Brunson.
And it's like he does it with a defender over him, and you're looking through the glasses. It's like you just see like some fingertips kind of at the bottom. It's like this shit is an open shot.
But yeah, I mean, this game overall, this game was tough. And we knew one of these was going to happen. It was tough because I agree with Mike. I remember being in the Discord watching the game, and it was like me, Terrence, Reese, and it was, Kyron. And the end of the first quarter happened, and I'm like, bro, this is fucking crazy. Like, this is a series. Like, it was like 26-26 or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
close.
21-20 at the end of first.
21-20. So maybe it's the beginning of the second quarter, and it was still relatively close. And I remember saying to them, like, this is kind of crazy. Because I was expecting OKC to maybe start the game 24-8, 24-7. We going to bust their head. So I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like, after one, we're in the second quarter, it's pretty close. Like, and then I said that shit, and it was over. And then it kind of went out of the, and I was like, damn, bro. I remember, like, after halftime, I'm like, man, I think I text y'all, like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
They didn't have enough to sustain the OKC avalanche.
I didn't even do, like, a recap video. Because I was like, I didn't even know what to say. Then I was like, maybe I will do it. And then my dad called. And, we're dedicating this episode to my cousin, Trail. Rest in peace to Trail.
Recipe
RP Trail.
So that had happened as well. But I'm like, even if these different things had happened, I don't know if I would have even did one. Because it's just, I didn't have a NBA Finals feel.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I do think Tyrese Halliburton has to be aggressive. I'm agreeing with Darrick. His aggression definitely does not have to look like Anthony Edwards, but it's also a conversation of saying, he's not that type of player. And it's why we don't see a lot of players of his mold in the history of the NBA winning championships and being the first options of those teams.
Was saying on the linear show too, it's the give or take with teams that are kind of like all around, well, kind of like the ones that go like a well-oiled machine versus like we got our top guy and he's going to take us
like
home
a
every
7
night.
seconds or less Suns never
It's-
being a championship team.
And even
why-
then,
yeah.
Nash was giving you 30 on given nights in the postseason.
Yeah.
Like against Dallas. Well, no, not Dallas. Who am I thinking about? I just rewatched this game.
San Antonio?
No, the series right before San Antonio. Damn, who did they go against? Because San Antonio, they lost in 5, I'm pretty sure.
That's
and
when
stat
Mark
averaged
started.
40 or 39 or something. But the series right before that I was watching. And in game 3, Steve Nash hit like 38. And then game 5, he had like 42. And it's like, he averaged in the regular season 16.
Yeah.
I know they played against the Clippers.
It won the Clippers.
I know they played
I
against
mean, I guess I could look it up because I'm right here. But
the Mavericks. They played against the Spurs. I'm trying to think of the other run that you could be talking about.
Because I just
But I
think
remember
about,
one of those runs, Joe Johnson cut his eye.
Yeah.
And then I remember another one where Steve Nash got hip checked by Robert Ory. The bench responded.
and they
got
get suspended. Yeah. Oh, it is a series against Dallas. I'm thinking about games. They go to 6 against Dallas in 2005, and in this, Steve Nash had a game. He had 48, and then in the closeout game, he had 39.
Damn.
Wow.
Just like he's not known as a scoring guy, but like
But he can score.
he
Yeah,
can get into that
in that
bag.
season, he probably was an 18-point scorer.
Yeah,
In his MVP seasons, Nash was not a 20-point scorer.
this was an MVP season for him too. And this whole series, let me see what these actual averages were. In this series, he averaged 30, 12, and 7 on 50, 40, 99.
Mm-hmm.
Not much you could do about that.
Yeah. He was a guaranteed bucket at that free throw line.
He was an issue.
But he also had like really good scores around him too.
No, he had that was my
yeah.
my
He
one
averaged
of my
15
favorite
in the regular season.
one of my favorite teams of
That's
all
nice.
time. I mean, you have him. One of those versions of the team, you have Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson is on this roster.
Another version, you
2005.
have Quentin Richardson, who ain't Joe Johnson, but he's lights out from three. You have Sean Marion, your Swiss Army knife.
He
You
made
have
an
Amari
All-NBA that season.
Stoudemire. Off the bench, you had fucking Barbosa.
Mm-hmm.
One of those years, you had Raja Bell, like a 3-and-D guard at the time. Those teams was really, really. I think one year they even went and got Shaq. They went and got an old Shaq who still commanded a double team. Like those teams was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's Tyrese Halliburton got to be aggressive. Just got to figure out his own way.
Yeah.
And there is also the conversation where I hate being this person, but the Thunder are fucking better than the Pacers.
I was about to bring that up. I was like, as much as we talk about the Pacers, you just can't even take anything away from what OKC is doing. Like, they're doing everything what a championship team needs to do. Everything they've done in the regular season, they've been able to kind of translate it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's like, they were basically a 70-win team. They had an MVP on their team. They had multiple people that could have been all NBA defensive. You know, like, they are a legit check all the boxes, we gonna bust your ass type of team.
The greatest thing about the Pacers, though, is that with all of that being said, as crazy as Game 2 was for the Thunder, they did their job. They split.
That's all that
split.
matters.
They
They
split.
took home court advantage. That's
Yep.
all you can ask for.
Mm-hmm. So all you got to do now is defend home court in some way. Worst case scenario, you only win one at home. It's still a 2-2 series.
Yeah. Do y'all give the Pacers a chance that they're gonna have a decent, like at least a 10-point lead? All the series so far has been OKC.
That's a good
Except
question.
for that one shot Tyrese.
Will they
hit.
ever
it's
be
all
up by
been
10?
OKC.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say yes.
At home, you got the crowd behind you.
I think
Role
it's-
players play better
If
at
it
home,
will
like
happen,
Emil
it will
said.
happen Game 3.
Yeah.
If it don't happen Game 3, it might be GG's.
Cause like, yeah,
The Thunder show that they're able to allow those two. Minnesota got in that air
yeah.
in Game 3.
I mean, they went on 12-2 runs in Game 1 by themselves.
So
So
we've had series where it was like out of the 4 games, the total series was only like a 3-point, difference or whatever.
Mhm.
It's gonna be hard to see the Pacers kind of pull that out.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned OKC. I just feel like when I watch them, as long as let's say two other people have normal games, then this team feels like they're unbeatable at times.
Yeah.
Like Rick Carlisle said, you can pencil him in, Shea in for 34 a night. It's about getting the others. And the other day was Caruso, Wiggins, Dub had a good game, and Chat. You just don't win those.
Yeah.
So if you can somehow prevent Caruso from hitting his shots or Wiggins from creating and doing his thing, Isaiah Joe from hitting that reverse layup and everything, if you can do that, then you got a chance. But I
what's
just
crazy is
it don't
that
feel
you
right.
still want to give Caruso those shots.
Sure, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you got to pick your poison.
I feel like you feel really happy if he's
that was the
taking
point
that
we
many
was making
threes.
to you about Obi Toppin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You get to a concern Obi Toppin, now this next game he ain't do nothing. Now it's
I
like
dare you to hit them.
you would have
threes
switched.
again.
You would have shifted your whole defense for nothing.
yeah. Shea was amazing. We haven't even talked about him much yet, but he played an amazing game. 34, 5, 8, 4 steals in the block, I think was the final box score. Making the right decision time and time again. Just looked incredible. Recognizing the stakes. You go down 0-2 in a lot of cases. That's the end of the series. He did not let that happen. And he was aggressive. He was giving Ben Mathurin the U2 small sign. He was doing a lot of different things.
I like his mentality too. He seems like one of those superstars that he never feels like he's better than everyone in the locker room. Like he feels like he's a part of the group, and when things are going wrong, he takes accountability. He says that he needs to be better, and like I like that humbleness from him.
Is that easy, you think? If you were one of the top 3 players in the world, do you feel like you would be able to have not humility, but like the camaraderie with the team to not pour yourself above them?
Yeah, because I think also
What stars do you look at and you say, man, I don't like his humbleness?
Nope.
Everything you said about Shea, what would you say the opposite of?
nobody. I think most of them do it.
I feel like everybody knows you need your teammates. Like nobody's doing it by themselves. So you're only gonna go as far as like the rest of your team goes.
What percentage of those do y'all think is real though?
What do you?
It's easy to say like, yeah, I can't do this on my teammates when there's a camera in front of you, but how many of those do you think is like
I don't think
actual
we'll ever know because there's so many times where like players are just giving the cliche or they're just the right answer.
the media trained one?
I think
You never
majority
really
of it is
gonna know.
bullshit. I think 99% of them is lying.
I feel like maybe I just drank the Shea juice. I feel like his is genuine, man, because it always has been that way, even before
In
he was
what
top
sense?
3.
I think Shea, Jokic, Giannis.
In what sense? Because I think that I'm not. I think everybody do think they need their teammates, and I think guys do have relationships. But I think in order to be that good, you have to have something in you that allow you to know I am above everybody. You can't go out here and think there's no way Shea can win MVP thinking him and Lou Dort are in the same
Right,
boat.
yeah, no. Obviously, yeah, he recognized that he's one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
But it's like not allowing that to
like spill over into their relationship. Where like he isn't gonna belittle anyone just because he knows he's better than them.
But that's what I said to you. Who has belittled anybody that you know of? You don't know anybody to do that. So
Cole
it's like
did it pretty publicly.
Who?
Cole with a lot of his teammates.
Didn't Jordan,
bad
Jordan punch one of his
on
teammates?
bad teams. On bad teams.
Jordan too.
Kobe ain't never do that on the championship team.
Joel Embiid
He ain't
threw his-
belittle Derek Fisher.
Joel
He belittle
Embiid-
Smush Parker.
Joel Embiid calls himself out, but he'll throw his teammates under too.
Joel Embiid definitely threw his teammates
yeah,
under the bus.
yeah,
for
Joel
sure.
Embiid definitely. He threw Ben Simmons under the bus intentionally. Like he
Did he say something about Tobias when he had like his 0-point game?
He said something about James Harden
Oh,
when they lost.
I just
this year.
remember.
Oh yeah,
the
he
Ben
said
Simmons
he's
one.
not the James Harden that he was before.
I give him some.
Yeah, I feel like that was out of context.
I
though.
give him some leeway with the Ben Simmons one though, because that play.
That was mind altering
Yeah,
to
yeah,
everybody that was
yeah,
watching that
yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
Everybody that was watching that game.
For
I'm
sure.
trying to think of other examples.
Now I think
feel like
Doc
there's
Rivers
more.
is the one who took Ben and threw his ass all the way under the
And
bus.
Joel Embiid was like, you know what he is, right? Yeah, he should have taken it. I feel like man.
Wait, was that the series wasn't over yet, right? When Ben did that.
No, that was the game before the series was over.
So yeah, they could. Yeah, I don't know. But Ben was tweaking.
Hell
he was
yeah.
tweaking, and it was kind of like, what the hell?
Luka don't.
The only one who didn't throw him under the bus was Matisse Thybulle. Matisse Thybulle was like, man, I gotta make them free throws.
Yeah.
Like I'm the one who did miss it, but
He
Ben,
also should have said, I shouldn't have had that ball in that situation.
Yeah,
what
Ben,
was I
Ben
doing?
tweaked on it. Ben tweaked on that for sure. For
Has
sure.
LeBron ever thrown his teammates under the bus?
I'm trying to think of it. It feels like yes, but I can't. I don't know why I feel yes, but I can't think of any examples.
So what's
you
your
know?
definition of belittling? Just Kobe saying what he said about Smush Parker?
I think that's probably the best examples we would get
Because
in professional
LeBron
sports.
almost stole on Mario Chalmers in the
Oh
fucking,
yeah, you have seen LeBron like argue.
But even that, I don't count because in the heat of the moment of a basketball game, I understand that, and I feel like you're just like when y'all did y'all thing. It's the moment.
There's no.
But let me finish.
No, I'm
Let
not.
me finish. In the
Because that's
moment of time, listen to what I'm saying. For the people that don't know y'all, in the moment of time, y'all doing that makes it feel like there might be something in y'all relationship. Just like in the basketball game, like, oh yeah, he don't fuck with Mario Chalmers because in that heated moment, it felt like he didn't. But who knows what the hell was going on behind the scenes
But
with
I'm
him and Mario?
saying he got up and charged at him. Me and Mike didn't do nothing like that.
Damn near.
No.
Austin was ready. Austin was ready to break some shit up on the
I
backside.
also would have known who they held back too.
I think Austin would have tried to do some shit.
But I'm talking about optically for the people that don't recognize the relationship.
Yeah.
No, for sure. For sure. The only reason I was saying that because
What about Draymond Green belittling Kevin Durant?
charging somebody, I think is different than like. Would you rather Kobe say something to you and you is kind of? Let me not say that because I don't want to go disrespect Smush Parker, but you are one of his weaker teammates that he had.
Well, you did it anyway. You still disrespected him.
Smush Parker, I'm not saying it. Let me not say the word weak. You're not as good as some of the former teammates he had. Smush Parker, I'm not trying to disrespect you.
Sure.
You made it to the NBA. I didn't. But Kobe was a guy that was spoiled from the talent he played with. He had Ron Harper, not Junior, Ron Harper, who won championships with Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal's, Horace Grant's, Derrick Fisher's.
How's Ron Harper Jr. doing? He played for the Pistons?
I think a G League or something. But then you go from that to the whole world changes. Phil Jackson's not the coach no more. It's Kwame Brown, Smush Parker. It's a young Caron Butler, a young Lamar Odom. And he's still Kobe's still thinking championship level. Would you rather him be going back and forth with you? And he's also trying to motivate because Kobe's a motivator. Or would you rather somebody charging at you like they finna whoop your ass in the middle of a game? One of the Morris twins, didn't he choke Archie Goodwin?
It sounds about right.
No.
Yeah, in
he
their
did.
game.
He
I
did.
bet
On the
if you
bench.
put Morris twin, Archie Goodwin, he grabbed them like that. Yeah, yes, right.
Yeah.
Would you rather somebody verbally say something to you or hold you accountable as a teammate or somebody trying to put their hands on you as a grown man? Me and your back and forth, obviously it wasn't serious as people tried to make it, But even if it was serious, I would prefer it to be that way than for Mike to get up like he's gonna charge
Show
me.
me the video, damn it.
You feel me? Like it's a
Yeah, to do some shit physical, you gotta be bold. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really want to go there.
And our respect level. That's
You
I
gotta
think
really
that's
wanna
the
go there.
Draymond punch thing. The respect level is like, damn. So I'm just a whole bitch to you. Like to grab your teammate or to charge, like you really don't fuck with me.
Right.
I would never get in an argument with any of y'all and be like charge you. What the hell are we doing? What are we doing? This is another grown man we talking about. You the hell?
And Draymond not top 10 though. So like I think he's not one of them superstar guys.
Don't tell him that.
So like I don't think Steph Curry would ever do anything to his teammates.
Because he's scared of Draymond.
Steph Curry.
It's like, why would I do something? I got a pit bull that I can leash out on Mike if I want to. As far as we know, Steph Curry put it in Draymond's ear to do that to Poole.
Don't put that up there on
I
Steph
think it's
name.
a-
Don't put that on Steph name.
I just think it's a fine. I think it's just a fine line, and I think everybody. The reason it's hard too is because everybody knows their teammates. So it's like Kobe knew what he was, what he could say to push certain, or he figured out what to say. He had certain things he knew he could say to Gasol that was going to get him going.
Mm-hmm.
We came to find out, and I think all other teammates of different
I
players.
remember
knows
on
different things.
2K, they loved telling that damn story. Like they said, Kobe had started learning Spanish just so he could talk to Pau Gasol on the court.
Yes.
And I was just like,
Or remember in the Olympics, he said he was going to run through Pau, and he did. The first play of the game.
yeah.
Or what about that 2K thing that they talk about? Well, Jalen Williams grew up in a military family.
Bro, they say that shit. I dead ass felt like I had a
Verbatim,
deja vu moment.
I swear to God, me too.
Deja vu moment because it was like word for word, and it was like
They were so strict that once upon a time he forgot to set his bed or make his bed, and his mom took him out of school, brought him home so he could make his bed, then put him back in school. How many times? I legitimately feel like I've heard it 5 times, bro.
Yeah, and it actually blew my mind. They said that shit over the thing again.
I feel like there's got to be more interesting things about J-Dub for them to say on the broadcast.
They do.
It's just like we don't know shit about Shea because he's just kind of like an introverted guy that likes Instagram pictures. So let's make sure to talk about him having a cousin again on the other team. Let's do it 100 times.
I think the NFL does a really good job of that, where it has like their players and it'll show a lot of part of like their past, or they have like baby photos.
I don't know, bro.
They do a lot of
In NFL, well, they got better now, but NFL draft would be his father was never in his life.
Yeah,
his mother was on cocaine. Like they used to go crazy
Yeah, they did. They did. But
Am I the only one that don't give a fuck?
about
I
like the
do.
personal stories.
Yeah.
I think it's
I don't
it's
care
'cause
when
I-
it go that deep.
Maybe it's because I already know half of the shit, but it'd be
Yeah.
like, you don't have to break your neck to tell me.
yeah. I don't think it's for
something
us. I think
about-
it's for like the casual family. Like, oh, I'm in a military family. I kind of like J-Dub now.
You're right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You're right. Because my mom would definitely hear some of that shit and be like,
He's
oh,
a devoted
wow.
Christian. Get his
Yeah.
jersey.
Oh yeah. My mom like, oh.
It's definitely a couple of stories out there about players. It's like usually when they're out there on the court, like that story just comes up.
I'm trying to think of some good.
But
other
there are
ones.
some amazing, powerful stories that I think you're going to hear repeated. But like,
I love the Giannis story. Like that's a good
Yeah,
example.
yeah,
We
but-
don't hear it now because he's been in the league for
there are
15 years.
ones
But
that I agree with y'all where it's like, bro, even the casual fan.
Did they have the Jimmy Butler? Did they say the one about Jimmy Butler?
How he was homeless?
I,
Probably.
they used to do
Something
that a lot. I don't know if they
similar.
do it
That
now.
one was-
but
oh
they used to
my
do that a
goodness.
lot. They used to do
Oh
that a lot.
man.
they love saying he drives his SUV, not his SUV. It's like a minivan. He plays his country music.
It's cap.
So much cap.
His cap.
That motherfucker got cars.
He
that
talked to
minivan,
Mike.
that minivan stuff has been dead since 2015.
They said it about Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, you still driving
yeah.
them. Fuck about
that
it.
one ain't
No,
got
you
no
don't.
Instagram.
You don't know any. We
Should he
can't,
driving a
can't find
minivan
that
if he
info
was
on
getting
Kawhi.
like 60,
Kawhi is not
60
driving that damn
M's a
car.
year? I might get a pit my ride a minivan if I'm getting 60.
I can
M's.
guarantee you Kawhi is not driving that fucking car.
It's one thing to be frugal, but if you're making $60 million annually, come get a car.
You
Get
got a fucking
nice
daughter.
vehicle.
Come on now.
Get
you
a
got
nice
kids.
vehicle.
Kawhi got a daughter and a wife. Don't make them have to drive it. Hey,
The AC don't work. Struggling for no fucking reason.
Talking about it's the battery or the alternator. I don't know, but it's gonna probably cost you about $250.
Struggling for the reason.
Hell no.
Hell, yeah.
He ain't running for the grind.
it's a funny conversation though about NBA player and leadership. NBA player and leadership.
It's so. I
Did
don't
y'all
know.
hear the story that Marquise Teague told on Jeff Teague's podcast?
About
Say.
Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett, I did hear that.
No,
story.
I ain't hear it. I ain't hear it.
They was going to China or something. They was all there as a team.
Okay.
And this is the Celtics. And you know.
First of all, I didn't know he played for the fucking Celtics off the top of my mouth, so I was listening to that story. Wait, no. This is when he was with Brooklyn.
I'm sorry, Brooklyn.
This is Brooklyn.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, Brooklyn. And you know Jason Collins,
Yeah.
Jared and Jason Collins. I think
Obviously he's an NBA player, but what's special about him as an NBA player? Do y'all know?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to say it, but yeah.
can say it.
He's homosexual.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it.
I don't want to say it, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was he the first player?
I think he was
Publicly.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
In the NBA at least.
And I love Jason Collins, by the way, because I feel like he's been in some funny things, and he don't let it bother him. It's like because there was one. Do y'all ever see the clip where it was like ASAP Rocky talking, and he was like, "Man, like go get checked. Anybody can get AIDS, whether you're black, white." And then he like pointed at Jay-Z like homosexual, but it went like viral because he just kind of like pointed at him, and you can see Jason Collins kind of like smirk and laugh, like whatever. But and he's also still a part of the game. He didn't allow his sexuality to make him feel uncomfortable to lead the game because he's with the Warriors, I believe.
He's somewhere.
I've seen him with the Warriors. So they're out in China or wherever. They overseas as a team, and it's all the guys on the plane or whatever. And KG just being a leader, like, man, we gonna get shit popping. I'm gonna make sure everybody taken care of. Young bucks, we can get y'all some hoes or something. And then he said something to Jason Collins, like, we gonna get something for you too. I'll make sure you straight or whatever. And Marquise C was like, everybody remember this, like, bro, you are crazy. But he's like, that's how KG is. He's a great leader. He makes sure everybody, he ain't mean nothing bad, but he made sure to feel him included.
Sure you cover. Yeah,
Yes, like, we know that you are
we finna embrace it too.
Right.
We
So like, we ain't gonna say, man, we just finna get some hoes, and we know that they ain't your bag.
One of my favorite parts about the story is Teague reiterated multiple times, everybody on the team was single. Nobody was married.
Oh, right. Make sure nobody get in trouble.
Nobody was getting in trouble from this story. Nobody was married. I mean, they're one of the player podcasts that, like, you get a new story every week and you be like, damn, that story's really good, bro.
Well, Teague
I
was in the
believe
league
him
for so
too.
long.
Yes,
100%.
that's why I said, like, we have so many stories that we tell the same stories. I think we got a lot of stories we don't even tell.
Yeah. We just got to get out more to create new stories. But they
like
don't hit the same
as
anyway.
an NBA player where you have to travel every single night, you got all of these characters, you got all of that money. There's got to be 1,000 stories. So I don't believe.
And by the time you get the third story and people fact check it and said it's true, now I believe every story he tell.
Right.
He's just in the background of everything in NBA history.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Derrick Rose 50. You're like, damn, Jeff Teague was on the team when
was
Derrick
there.
Rose dropped 50. Talking about he was in the locker room saying, I'm going to go for 50 tonight. Like, I got to believe it. He was there.
Yeah.
He was there. He didn't make that up.
Why? Wait, didn't I just see something that was like Bron used to watch film in the club or he used to do something
Oh,
in the
Mario
club?
Chalmers.
Mario Chalmers said that Bron was getting treatment on his leg.
in the club.
That's nuts.
I
can
would do
believe that.
Yeah.
I can
I'm
believe
just
that.
in the club. I'm bonding with the team, but at the same time, hey,
We got a game tomorrow.
we was in the club. What you was watching?
Oh, yeah,
He
you
was watching
that
Luka
Lakers game.
highlights.
Hell no.
Is there anything else about game 2 worth talking about that was interesting or surprising to y'all? We got double big lineup again. That was cool for 4
Yeah, and
minutes
we got
and
a
30
lob.
seconds.
We got a lob.
We got a lob between the two. That was pretty cool.
That was really
I think it's one of the ones you got to move on to game 3.
I think we mentioned OKC did a great job on Pascal in this game.
Yeah.
And I think it was another good conversation of, like, again, the live turnovers are the ones that hurt you because they didn't turn the ball over nearly as much.
I think OKC had 4 fast break points.
It's a big difference, but they still was able to have such a big win. So you got to make sure you're taking care of the ball because once they get organized offensively and if they can turn you over like that again, it's going to be a 40-point win in the NBA Finals. So
What do you
That
expect?
Pacers crowd, they show up, man.
they do.
What do you expect for that game, game 3?
I'm expecting a closer one. I'm expecting a more aggressive Tyrese Halliburton. And I'm also expecting Pascal Siakam to have his best game of this series and potentially a Pacers win.
Yeah, that's how I'm feeling, too. Feeling Pacers win. Think Aaron E. Smith, Nimhard. I think them boys, I think they all get it going from 3. And they make this a 2-1 series.
Because the role players do what at home?
They play better at home.
Hey, off the top of y'all head, has every one of their big comebacks been on the road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Cavaliers one on the road.
I know the Knicks
Knicks
one was in the
on the
Garden.
road.
And then obviously
And then I don't know what they did in Milwaukee.
That was
At home.
That was at home.
That was
That
at
was at
home.
home?
That was at
That was
Oh,
home.
because John Halliburton was there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
that was at home.
Yeah.
Gary Trent Jr. showing his ass.
They occasionally show John Halliburton in the like stands, and they were down by like 15 points, and something happened, and Jade, I think it's Halliburton's
going
girlfriend,
crazy.
and she's going crazy and talking shit.
Yeah.
And now like there's a portion of Pacers fans like, see, we ain't front runners. Even our fans are celebrating we down 15. Like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
there you go. They're not front runner. They talking through the whole game.
I'm a little
Shit.
optimistic about the Pacers kind of coming in and taking that win too, but I think it's still important for OKC to just come out and dominate again against a lesser team. You just don't want to give up those wins and give them the confidence to make this series longer. I'm thinking OKC comes in and dominates again. honestly.
That's not out of the realm of possibility, brother. I could see that too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
They just, I don't know, so good. That's not breaking no news. We've known that for a long time. But if this ended up being a 5-gamer,
That was my prediction.
I wouldn't be surprised, even though they lost game 1. That's all. A couple bits of news. Cleveland Cavaliers star Darius Garland underwent a surgery to repair a great toe injury and will be sidelined for approximately 4 to 5 months, meaning that he'll be sidelined at least for the start of the next season. I don't know if there's anything to be said about that other than get well soon.
Does
Darius
that limit
Garland?
those trade rumors?
You said does it?
Yeah, it probably stops though. You know, if the Magic trading subs for
Sure.
Garland, they probably ain't doing that now, right?
I mean, I think they still would entertain it just because he's not missing the whole season. They just said the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I
So-
think
It's just a
sometimes
toe injury,
it can
too.
be optics. It's like we traded for a guy that won't even be ready for the start of the season. You remember when Cameron Payne was a Bull and in the media day he was on that fucking scooter? I was so pissed at him. Like, why are you always injured? I mean, he
Well,
wasn't
the
very
Magic
good,
should
but
not be
still.
worried about
Yeah.
talking about he not going to be there for the start of the season. They just spent the whole season with nobody.
Well, first of all, I just don't think that they
Yeah,
have
but that's also why though.
Yeah.
You want to start the season again with an
another
injury.
big injury. I think they might, if they were thinking about Garland, they might pivot. I mean, who the hell knows if Garland is even available? I know there's reports that they might take calls on him, but like, they've been together, 3 years now?
Yeah.
First year they lose in the first round to the Knicks. Second
year
year,
is
Second round exit.
second round exit to
and that still was a bad one because the first one
Boston?
they beat the Magic in the first round and that shit went
seven. Yeah, they went
So
seven.
the second year wasn't even that crazy.
And then this year, obviously, Pacers and was that 5 or 6? I forget.
It
Either
was
way,
5.
short series. That's kind of it. Other than if we go to like super rumors and stuff, it's not a lot
I saw
going
the
on in
Kings
basketball.
And Hawks talked about Trae Young.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
The
I just
Kings and
seen that.
Hawks.
Yeah.
So they just want to be all offense.
Well,
the Kings is one of them teams, man. I
The
don't know
Atlanta
what
Hawks
they
spoke
finna
with the
do.
Sacramento Kings about a Trae Young trade 35 minutes ago.
who is that from?
That is from Grant Asfith.
Okay, shout out to Grant. I don't know how.
Basketball reporter focused on the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA.
I think that's my. It's a little early, but that's the second to least exciting team that I'm like looking
The
forward
Kings?
to. Yes, the Kings. I just don't know what they got going on. The only team I can say is like I'm just not as interested as the damn Jazz.
Even the Jazz, I think, are more interesting than the Kings as far as their offseason goes, especially with the new people involved and the things that they talking about. I saw Larry Marketing might be available for
They're
the right
also trying
package,
to
Walker
aggressively
Kessler.
trade Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton this offseason as well.
So, like, their offseason could be better than the Kings or more interesting than the Kings, but I get what you're saying.
I like to see Colin Sexton somewhere new.
I wanted to see Jordan Clarkson somewhere so long ago.
Yeah,
so
Yeah,
long
now
ago.
I think it's too. Last year he was bad.
Last year I felt like it was. It damn near felt like last year was too late for him to get traded. But like 3 years ago, Jordan Clarkson was the sixth man.
Yeah, he
you
was
know,
so
like
good.
right next to like Lou Will types.
Yeah, man, I think you could have got some draft picks for him nowadays. I don't feel like that's the case anymore.
Kind of forget about him.
What about the other news of Giannis? Giannis looking like he's settling into Milwaukee.
I love it because now that means we don't have to wait for the offseason. I feel like
Yeah,
everybody was
start.
going to be waiting to see what happens with Giannis. If
Now it's
Giannis is
KD.
definitively saying, right, it's now Kevin, it's now. There's been a lot of Jaylen Brown conversation over the last 48 hours, I would say.
Which ones did you see? I saw some way before 48.
Yeah.
I heard him before 48 hours, but I feel like they're ramping up, recognizing that they got to shed salary, so on and so forth. And I saw a clip of, not that he's in a super no, but like Bill Simmons basically saying don't shut the door on the idea of Jaylen Brown getting moved as well.
I would love to see that. I know Celtic fans wouldn't, but
That would be crazy, bro.
I mean,
that second apron thing really gonna end dynasties.
It would.
wait, hold on. Let's not act like that's what the Celtics were. They won one championship.
They did.
Well, no, but you become a dynasty by winning multiple. And once you trade Jaylen Brown,
Well, you said in championships. They didn't. You got to become in dynasty. You got to start a dynasty to end a dynasty.
Yeah, that's true.
I see where he coming from though, because they weren't there, but they was on the way.
yeah,
Like, we
like,
just
No,
see
they've
it
been to the
coming.
conference finals 100 times.
If they don't trade him, they'll keep him. Next year they won't be going, and then you have to worry about 2027, and they'll have a whole new team. So I also get what KB is saying is like they won one championship.
Great
the
team
Nuggets
for a
a dynasty?
decade, but
But I don't have
No.
the same energy for the Nuggets.
I thought the second apron ruined theirs too.
In what way? They haven't.
They had to lose quality role players.
lost
They
fucking
also had to
KCP.
overpay
They
their
lost.
role
They also
players,
lost
too.
Bruce
Yeah,
Brown.
they-
They lost
they
Jeff
paid-
Green.
They
lost.
paid
They
their role
lost
players
key
a
guys that
lot
really
of
helped them
money.
win that
They
championship.
didn't lose it because of the second apron.
I
You
think
can't
my,
pay-
my only point of contention is the word dynasty. That's all.
You can't. You. There's no championship team that can pay everybody. You can't. Every championship team loses people. Name me a championship team that was able to keep the whole roster from the first championship to the fucking third one. You
Nobody.
can't.
Nobody.
You're right. So it's like you lost Bruce Brown. What did he fucking do?
The team you lost it to turned him into Pascal Siakam. Which is crazy to think about aloud. They signed him to a big. I remember when he got that contract. We were doing our live stream. Like that's a lot of money for
Wasn't
Bruce
it
Brown.
20 M's?
It was like $22 million
Yeah.
annual.
It was, yeah.
And then
I
they
think it was like
flipped him
2
for
years,
Pascal.
40 million.
Yeah, it was,
But the war, I thought that's what made the Warriors great during their dynasty is that they could lose guys and fill the hole with other guys.
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, it was around the
The
edges
Nuggets
pieces.
just took the best team to the closest brink that we might see with
was
this
7
team.
games.
They still have a really good
He and
team.
Aaron Gordon. Just,
Now, if they had to lose Jamal Murray, I mean, losing Bruce Brown and losing Jaylen Brown is, we're talking about your second best player versus a guy that didn't even start. So that's all I'm saying. I do think losing Bruce Brown sucked, but he had to go get his bag because you had already paid Jokic, Jamal Murray, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, KCP. Was you gonna lose any of those to keep Bruce Brown?
no.
So now, if we talking about it, now if the Nuggets won and they had to trade Jamal Murray, then I would be like, yeah, this shit kind of getting crazy. All the second options got to get traded after the first ship.
I'm trying to think about what would be different. Obviously, things will be different if there's no second apron, but I'm trying to figure out exactly what that means for the NBA. Like, what moves have we seen that was 100% a second apron decision? Because
cat one?
Bruce, they could have kept Bruce Brown. They couldn't pay him $22 million.
Yeah,
So that's not a second apron thing.
That's
That's
him.
just somebody outbidding them.
yeah,
Cat probably don't get moved,
yeah. Cat probably
That's
don't get
that's yeah.
and then the Knicks don't have him, so they.
That's
I guess
a
their
very good
season
point.
looks a lot
But you can
different.
also probably afford to go over the luxury tax too.
If you
Some-
who
Some teams, if they really wanted to go over the luxury tax to like keep Bruce Brown, you want to go into.
They
the
may have
luxury-
already been over the luxury tax. That's why you can't pay him $22 million. They already had Jokic,
Three maxes.
Jamal Murray,
Oh, yeah.
MPJ, Aaron Gordon, KCP.
Karl-Anthony Towns is probably the best example because they trade him for financial flexibility.
Yes.
So that's a
That's
good
the one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Was the Warriors something similar? Because Klay Thompson wanted more money, but did he just go somewhere else because he's like different opportunity, or they didn't pay him enough?
There's no way because they just paid Jimmy Butler swiftly. I think they probably knew that they was going to have to pay Steph, Dre, Clay, and then they were going to need to go out and do more.
I remember that because I was thinking like maybe Klay Thompson he'll take a pay cut because it's the damn Warriors, and you know.
But he was saying he's not taking a pay cut. It was Draymond and had to take a pay cut.
The Paul George method.
Give me who.
Give me what he got. I'm gonna keep bringing that up forever. I feel
And
like.
he took less money to go to Dallas from other teams.
It's got to be other ones that have made moves. I feel like it's been constant moves. I feel like the last year.
How does he feel about that now that Luka's not there? I
He's-
took a pay cut to come
I
here.
think
and
they
he's-
asked him, and I think he said he's not commenting on that.
I think that was
So I think that essentially gave us our answer.
I thought that was one of the biggest losers in that Luka trade was Clay leaving, not just leaving his team, leaving the damn Warriors, man.
It should have been a forever
Just
thing.
leaving them. Now he just sitting over there.
Should have
I'm
been a
trying to
forever
think.
thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of the rumors and the potential of guys being moved now is because of the second apron.
Well,
Right,
Miles
yeah.
Turner's name is also being brought up a lot, even though he's in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, everybody with Miles Turner all of a sudden. Detroit. Who else was it? It was Detroit,
Atlanta.
Atlanta. It's like damn, but you know how that can go.
I think Sham said though that Indiana's prepared to go into the luxury tax for the first
For the
time in
first
15
time.
years or something like that.
Damn.
That means that they prepared to pay that man. So
They said we can't do it for PG, but we got you, Hallie.
That's kind of nuts when you say it aloud.
You can't do it for you, PG. And that's literally PG.
But PG never got to the finals.
It is, but I swear that's the shit that resonates with me when Paul George, he said, I left Indiana and requested a trade because they were okay with being okay.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, I can't do that, you know, like as a franchise.
He might have been a little gullible too, though. We
What
could
you
have got Anthony Edwards. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis told me he wanted to come to Indiana. You sure, PG? He might have been telling you some shit just because he in your face at the time. Y'all in the
Just
same
like you
room.
be doing that shit to other people. Yeah, I was thinking about Detroit, man. What you and Reggie Jackson was doing was nuts, man. I would have loved to have been a part of that.
Are you?
The fucking Reggie
That
Jackson.
right there is easier than when you actually sit down with your wife like, baby, look, I know we over here, but we can go to Detroit. No, we in Beverly Hills, but come on, man, it's Detroit.
man.
It's a tougher reality.
I think we talked about it on Linear, but Chris Paul gave a quote when I think he was with McAfee when he was talking about this. Maybe it wasn't McAfee. That he's been away from his kids for the last 8 years of his NBA career, and now he wants to be a dad and he wants to play in LA. So I don't know, you might be gearing up to see him in a Lakers jersey, or the Clippers might be gearing up to bring him back
He
to be a
better not be
backup.
saying all this to end up somewhere that's not in LA.
Yeah. I'm just afraid that if he don't get the LA
He gonna
contract,
retire.
that it's like, I gave him till I'm 40.
Why are you afraid?
Because I don't know what I would do. I might retire with him.
No, you're not. You're gonna pick up a new guy. It's gonna be Tyrese.
I don't think it will be
It's gonna
Tyrese.
be Tyrese.
Bro,
Tyrese called him, and now he's just the biggest Tyrese fan. Huh?
You're a big De'Aaron Fox guy.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not. You remember my list? Before the season started, I gave my top favorite players in basketball.
I fakely remember.
I re-quoted that like 2 days ago saying, man, a lot has changed. De'Aaron Fox is number 5 on the list. De'Aaron Fox is not in my top 10 anymore.
Why?
This season was a shitty season for him, man.
So
like,
your
honestly,
fandom is on a is dedicated to each season because Chris Paul has had some shitty seasons
when
when he was hurt.
that shit don't count.
Chris Paul, De'Aaron Fox was hurt this year.
No, because it was like it wasn't about the basketball play
I know
for
exactly
De'Aaron.
what you mean. I know
It's like
what
they
you
put
mean. I'm trolling.
that mic in front of him and he was just
So
talking.
you control when you know the person. Hey, stop trolling, by the way. Y'all saw that dude that got shot in Vegas?
Oh yeah.
yeah, that's
was-
actually a sad ass
They
story.
was beefing over some trolling in the
Some
internet
internet
shit.
troll shit.
Yeah. Stop trolling, man.
But not even just him, his wife
you see
too.
that,
That
uh,
was,
Yeah, his
that was
wife.
sad, yeah.
Yeah.
did you see that tweet, KB? It said if Tyrese gets this ring, he's automatically over Chris Paul.
Yeah, you think I'm not joking when I blocked that
blocked him?
person? Yeah.
Okay, so what's the list now?
I don't know what the list now is.
I would
but
love to hear y'all list.
I'm
by
going
the
to
way,
tell you
too.
what the list was before the season started. Again, these are my favorite players,
Let me
not the
move this
best
mic.
players, or
Enjoy
so on
my
and so forth.
yogurt.
My number 1 was Chris Paul. As long as Chris Paul's in the league, he's going to be number 1. My number 2 going into the season was Kobe White. My number 3 going into
Is
the
he
season.
still there too?
Yeah, I would
Kobe?
say so. I
Okay.
would say so. My number 3 going into the season was Tyrese Halliburton. My number 4 was Larry Markkinen. My number 5. This is before the season. Before he went to the finals.
Don't mind me. I'm gonna just be a cousin and
Okay.
just do stuff.
My number 5 was Jimmy Butler. My number 6 was De'Aaron Fox. My number 7. Oh, you actually replied for my number 7. Devin Booker. My number 8 was Giannis. My number 9 was Bam. My number 10 was Anthony Davis. Those are my 10 favorite players before the
Hey.
season started. I will tell you, Fox is not top 10 anymore.
Laurie.
Drops down. I think he still ends up in the top 10, but he drops down. Is that a bad decision? Your face was like, how?
Yeah. He was pretty bad last year.
But it's
Hold on,
not just
I want to
about.
say this. I want to say this. I feel like you say that every time his name come up now because you heard him say that.
Say what?
It was a bad season for him.
that he was been bad.
was a
But
bad
I
season.
feel like prior, and prove me wrong if I am wrong. Prior to KB saying that, I don't remember you saying Laurie, just like expressing how bad you felt.
Well,
Laurie
no,
was.
I never expressed that dislike for him. I just don't think he would be a top 10 player I would look forward to watching.
But that's you.
Yeah.
That's why it's his favorite players. I don't think Chris Paul is a top 10 guy for you either right now.
No.
Yeah.
Anthony
I'm
Davis
just-
still on that list though, right?
And Dave still there.
Okay.
Yeah, Anthony Davis.
He actually may be higher on the list now that he's not a fucking Laker.
I'm fine with that.
No, I'm
I
joking.
like the respect on
You
Anthony
get to see
Davis.
him in
now.
that number 1 option role.
Larry Markkinen stays on the list.
Well, he
I
was
can't
number
just
one option in
abandon
LA.
my boy because he had a bad
I
year.
just feel like I haven't seen him do shit in
Yeah,
a
this
year.
season,
It's literally
you
just I
have
haven't
zero
seen
Larry
him.
Markkinen members.
I don't.
Other than him signing a big ass contract before the season. That's the only thing you know about Larry Markkinen in the season so far. But yeah, I think Fox is off this list. Jimmy might drop as well.
I'm not gonna lie, I like Jimmy in that Warriors uniform. The 10 a little weak, But I like him in it.
Would you? Who's ranked higher as a number 10? The guy behind me or Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy Butler.
Okay. What you think, Darrick?
He has a case. That rookie debut was insane.
That rookie debut was insane. Come on now.
So
Maybe the greatest ever rookie debut. Or yeah. So maybe I'll make a new list. But I just know things will be different.
What would some of your top 10 names be, Darrick? I'm curious.
And you don't. I'm gonna
Bam might have dropped too, by the way.
Bam might have
This
dropped.
was a season for Bam that I'm like, ugh.
I'm gonna say this too, because just right off top in order, it's a little weird. Just straight up, like 10 players or whatever that you enjoyed watching.
One is probably Anthony Edwards.
Your favorites.
I know.
And he got to be the best in the league.
Well, no, I know.
Okay.
I'm not putting Dame on there because he just tore his Achilles, so I can't even look forward to watching him.
But he still could be your favorite.
But like we're going based on who I'm looking forward to watching next season,
You're
right?
taking it too literal.
Oh well, then Dame is number one.
Because I'm not looking forward to watching 41-year-old Chris Paul. But that's my
Okay.
guy. So
Okay.
he's number 1.
Okay, Dame is one. Anthony Edwards will be 2. Joel Embiid.
Now, that was something I did not expect.
Nah. I'm just going through teams.
I can't eat while Darrick is talking because he's going to make me choke.
You said Joel Embiid.
He said Joel Embiid.
I
And then
did
he's not
consider
say
him.
Jerry McCain like he full on Sixers Nation. What the hell?
I'm going to see 11 games.
Well, part of a player being on your top favorite list is that you support them outside of the sport. I bought them weak ass Chris Pauls 5 years ago. Y'all remember that? I was hooping in them Chris Pauls.
Bogus as hell.
So if Jerry McCain go be on your list, you got to support his nail polish.
I do have my nails done.
That's what I'm saying.
So?
It's not too crazy for you.
I
to
just don't
support
do the
him.
color. I get clear.
Maybe it might be time if Jerry McCain is on your list. He might have a clear, actually. I don't know. I'm just
He
talking.
do. I'm
you
down.
actually
No,
on
no.
the list. You know exactly every color he got. He got championship gold. I know that one to be true. He do got championship gold.
He do?
Who else?
Luka.
Luka. Okay. You starting
LeBron.
squatting 700 pounds.
LeBron, obviously.
So you want to watch All-Star
Stars.
games.
Yeah, stars.
Let's go Shaden Sharp. Bill, what was wrong with that?
We say, oh, you love star in your mind. Let me figure out a non-star.
No, yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Claxton on a new team.
Just only if he ends up on a new team. If he's in Brooklyn, sorry, you're not in my top 10.
He
Yeah.
do talk about Claxton a lot.
He
so I
do,
believe
he
that
do.
one. I believe that
Since you
one.
saw him in the combine, we give you
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, I did not watch much of him in Brooklyn.
That's fair. But you did
Cam
believe
Thomas.
you did believe in him though.
Cam Thomas will probably still be in my top 10 as well. Karl Anthony Towns.
What'd he say?
I think that's probably all. That's 10. Maybe Yabusele. Yabusele will finish out the list.
Okay. Mike? I feel like you're looking at teams trying to
Yabusele?
Yeah.
we just gonna get by the way, third Sixer that he mentioned.
Yabusele? Are you fucking shitting me?
I like some Gershon.
Because he thick.
He did.
Yeah.
That's in no order, by the way. Luka, Jokic, AD.
Yeah, all-star team supreme for you too, huh?
I mean, most of those make sense. Anthony Davis and Luka,
just
they
talking,
played on my damn team. Ja.
so make sure you put Pat Bev on your fucking list since he played on your team too.
Ja. This is my list. We ain't say nothing about when you had Chris Paul. We ain't say nothing.
True.
Ja, Vic, James Harden, Cade, Anthony Edwards, Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
That feels like a Mike. But it's not many Mike players in there though. Maybe because Mike players don't exist as much as they used to.
They losing
Trey Johnson on the way.
they losing a value. Yeah, he is on the way. He is on the way.
Give me Jalen Johnson.
I wish that's one of my players. I needed him to be healthy for the whole season.
He'll be ready next year. He's an
He
all-star.
better
next year.
be.
You give me Kyrie Irving, Paul George, Devin Armani Booker, Andrew Nembhard, Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson definitely need to be on everybody's list. By the way, I know
Brand-
it's our list, but it's he
But
need
he
to be
wasn't
on
on your
everybody's
list?
list. He wasn't.
Brandon.
I only had 9 people. He the 10.
Brandon Ingram.
I want to say this dude. He always be hurt, but I'm gonna say
You
it.
just said him, Brandon Ingram.
Lonzo
Lonzo
Ball.
Ball.
Gotta love Lonzo.
Lonzo Ball.
That's fair.
Let me think. It'd be tough off the top of the dome.
While you thinking, I remember one reply that was like, "This is not your top 10 list. This is just players that you've interacted with."
Have
That's
you
what somebody
interacted with
said.
all? Kobe White?
It's everybody except for Chris Paul and
Yeah.
Bam.
What about a man, P?
Oh, a man is flying up the ranks, man.
Yeah, he is.
But I feel like that's the hipster pick. Everybody loves
that
him
would
right
be a
now.
hipster pick. Yeah. I'm trying to. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you go a Sar.
Exactly. That's why Anthony Edwards wouldn't make my list because everybody loves Anthony. That's
Yeah.
like LeBron. Everybody loves watching LeBron.
If
Everybody
Shea
in-
had Anthony Edwards' personality, is he the face of the league?
Hell yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Give me.
'Cause I guess
I'll
if-
put Cade on that too.
Because I think if Anthony Edwards, just say he's in the place of Shea right now, they're probably giving him, crowning him face of the league right now. If he's got MVP, looking like he's about to win a championship, I don't think there's a doubt in that. So I'll probably say yeah.
I'm trying to think if it's anybody else I'm really missing that I really just like love watching, or am I just like a big fan of? Desmond Bain.
Okay, that's the guy. I was trying to think of players that you've mentioned. on the
Desmond
show.
Bain.
He kind
Desmond
of fell
Bain.
off my list a little.
I love Shaden Sharp and Denny too, but Desmond Bain. Trey Murphy the third.
I love some Trey Murphy the third too.
I like DeJounte when he's healthy, but again, a lot of guys be.
I found myself thinking negatively about DeJounte Murray on the way to the pod yesterday.
Why?
Because we were, I think one of the conversations that we planned on having was like Halliburton superstar, the same conversation everybody's fucking having right now.
Which I don't think he is.
Right.
Which is okay, by the way.
I was thinking there's obviously there's tiers to this. There's like Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, so on and so forth. Tier after that is probably what Halliburton is. He's still a star. He's an All-NBA player. Probably going to make 7 All-NBA players in his career.
Yeah.
But I was like, he's so much fucking better than DeJounte Murray. Just
DeJounte
on the drive
Murray's
over.
not a star.
I know. But DeJounte made an all-star appearance. But just on the way over, just thinking about players in my mind, I said to myself, he's so much better than DeJounte Murray. I was like, why did DeJounte Murray get that straight in my head? why did my brain go DeJounte
I think
Murray
it's 'cause,
negatively?
For one, I
He's
would
that
say
weird player to place.
last year it felt like he wasn't really playing. Like he got hurt, he had his injury or whatever, and then the Pelicans just also had a down season. But the year before that, the year with Trae Young, I seen some of the hype back with DeJounte, especially when Trae Young was out, where it's like DeJounte was kind of running the
taking
team.
over that Celtics
That's
game?
when he had the game winner against the Celtics. So he had the big plays against them. It's just like that's the guy I wanted to have as like my starter PG again, and I think that's what the Pelicans were looking at. But
I don't
the
know if I
Pelicans
like
just had
watching
such a
him play,
bad
man.
damn year.
Who?
DeJounte.
He's a good player. I like him because he's one of them players too that you don't really think about it. First of all, underrated handles, but he's a guy that really gets in his mid-range bag too.
Yeah.
I think I like his story more than I like him as a player.
Yeah, I like
Late first round pick, all defensive team, youngest to ever do it at that time.
My
But, like-
favorite version of DeJounte was definitely his last year with the Spurs. I would definitely say that. Last
Yeah, I
couple
think
years
maybe
with
it's because
Spurs.
these last 2 spots hasn't worked out enough for me to like really.
Pelicans is kind
enjoy
of hard to gauge. You can play.
I tell you, if they could trade his ass right now, they would.
Well, yeah, because he's hurt.
I don't. I think
They
it
got
goes
a lot
deeper
of
than
players
that.
they would trade right now.
They probably will trade in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Joe Dumars is going to be doing shit. I'm not looking forward to Joe Dumars as an executive. Even though he built some really good teams in the early 2000s, he also built some shitty teams right after that. So we'll see.
Believe in rehabilitation though.
Oh yeah, hopefully he make it work. The Pelicans need some
Who's
shit.
some of y'all
going on.
favorite non-stars?
Favorite non-stars? I was gonna
You
bring
said
up-
Stars.
non-starters? Stars.
You
Donovan,
talk about like
All-star.
the
Donovan Clingan.
There you go.
That's a good one.
you
like
talk about
that
like the
one.
Mike Hurd guys. Peyton Pritchard is a Mike Hurd.
There
guy.
you go.
I like that.
Straight just
Just
flames
straight
off the
buckets,
bench.
yeah, straight buckets. Herb Jones has always been on that list for me.
Voila.
Even though it wasn't one of those years for him last year.
Ryan Dunn was up there for me too.
You know who I enjoyed? It's been a long time.
The Nets got a lot of guys I like. I love Trent Watford
I actually really
and Noah
enjoyed
Clowney.
Brandon Miller hooping this year.
Yeah.
Like he I got some more faith in him than I already kind of did now. Like
I think one of the worst things about us not doing that NBA combine thing is that I don't know who my guys are yet for this
Facts.
draft.
Damn.
I think meeting them is like that's how I
That does
became a
help.
Casey Wallace guy.
That does help,
Y'all had
yeah.
told me you gonna love Casey Wallace, and then we met him like, oh yeah, that's my fucking guy.
Yeah, I remember
Tari
the
Eason.
Ryan Dunn thing.
Good
He was
one.
like, you know who this is? And I'm
Yeah.
like, nah. He's like, oh,
Which
this
is
shit
still
don't matter.
crazy in the moment. Yeah, he was so
but
cool.
he was so
like,
humble
fuck
and
it.
cool. It's just like, he's got to be my guy now.
Yeah. Yeah, I respect that. Yeah, I mean, we are doing some NBA
That
draft
was
coverage
wild
though.
of me to say, you know who this is, and he was right here. 'Cause I probably should have guessed that you didn't know.
Nah, but it was funny though, because once I realized was like who it was, I got excited as hell. Like, oh shit.
He was cool.
Yeah.
Lit ass New York accent. Also met Johnny Furphy that day.
Yep.
Who's in the NBA
Baby
Finals. He
face.
played his first minutes game too.
Terrence said, we was watching the game, and Terrence said, damn, they throwing in a white towel already? He's like, who the fuck is number 12? I was like, it's Johnny Furphy. Stop playing my young boy.
Yeah, they gave him a promise, man. Remember, he came into our room like, I don't know if I'm staying or going. He got that promise from the Pacers, like, yeah, I'm staying in this year's draft. I wonder what percentage of the players that did back out this year were hoping to get a promise. Like, oh, if we had picked number 32, we're going to take you. And they didn't get that. It's like, fuck, I'm just going to make some money.
This motherfucker that was going to go a lot early before 32 that was like, I got $4 million at
Money
the,
to, yeah.
you did.
Make that bag, man. If you know you're going to make it next year too, go get your draft stock up. Make $4 million. Yeah, what's
I
it?
was
$4
telling that
million?
to my dad.
Shit.
My dad acting like he don't like it. But I'm like,
Man.
it helps.
I'm talking about going back for
It
that
helps the
extra year.
game. If you can't, if a kid can, a lot of bad talent a lot of talent came in the NBA and it wasn't ready and they fizzled out because they had to rush. Now, if you don't have to rush, cool. Now, I am against everybody transferring. A kid playing in 4 schools in 3 years is insane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you have a chance to test the draft, to get feedback, to see your range, and to say, okay, I'm gonna work on these things. I may not be, because man, when you go to the NBA, that's it, man. If you don't go to the right situation and find a way to carve out a lane for yourself, in 2.5 to 3 years, you'll be out, and that's it. It's very hard. You don't hear too many PJ Tucker stories anymore. Where you go in the NBA and then you got to go overseas, and Pat Beverly, you grind for 5 years over there.
Yabu's doing that right now.
Yabu did.
And I
But
think
other
the
than that,
way
it's like 3 options in like
and
10
it could have
years.
been, again, maybe it was like that 2 decades or 3 decades ago, but it's like the rush for the young guys is so right now. It don't matter who you is. If you're not doing what you need to do damn near like in the first year or two, there's start conversations about you.
Yes,
There's
bro.
no patience anymore with these guys.
Do y'all feel like teams take? Obviously, we got projects that get drafted in the lottery every year. Like Tajon Salon was just that. He got drafted with 6 or something like that.
Yeah,
But I
7.
I feel like it's not happening as much as it did 10 years ago. Like people trying to get the next Giannis and so on. It's still happening, obviously. But like people are less likely
They're scared to take that chance.
to draft on just physicals. Like
don't
Patrick
know.
Williams was kind of a physical pick at pick 4.
Because you say that, but then you mentioned to John Salon.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Shaden Sharp was drafted with nothing?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
there was
true.
no Kentucky.
That
He
is
never
very
played
true.
at Kentucky.
That is
Nothing.
very,
Just-
very
just,
true.
Just like we're gonna.
And this
take
year,
him.
like what?
No,
And Sengay might be that
yes,
guy.
yes.
So maybe get like one a year, one super swing a year, maybe 2.
Ousmane Dieng.
Yeah, he was picked 10 or something. Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
man, you're
really
right.
raw.
You're right.
But
Shit.
coming in, Shane Sharp was projected to go. Wasn't he projected to go as high as he was?
I don't even remember.
Which
Like based on
Like in high school?
Yeah, like
He was
based on his high
yeah,
school
but you
trajectory.
can't go off of that.
Yeah.
When you didn't play the whole year. A lot of Perry Jones was projected to be #1 player. in his
Y'all
class.
knew Isaiah Hartenstein was really highly touted.
He was at the.
He was like before his
He was
year
at the
that he came out, he was projected to go like top 7.
Oh, I didn't know that, but I remember seeing him at the FIBA thing. It's in Portland.
I know what you mean.
The
though.
World versus Team, which is like the top players where Jokic was at, Hartenstein, Zachary Richichet. I think that's the first time I seen him was in that game. But yeah, I remember seeing Isaiah Hartenstein there. Then he disappeared.
Then he disappeared in the NBA. 7 teams in 4 years or something stupid like that. Just everywhere.
Yeah, let's look at some of the old drafts and see. Shaden Sharp was definitely the top player in his class, but
How often has that worked? I guess the big swings. Like Tajon Salon, the jury's still out. He didn't have a
Giannis
rookie
not even a
season.
big swing though, because he was post lottery.
True.
So that's a good question.
Like Patrick Williams didn't work. Who else do you mention?
Patrick-
Usman Zhang.
give
He probably
Patrick-
not
give him-
staying
give
on
him-
OKC.
Give him some time.
We still
KB.
haven't really seen with him though, too.
Who?
You think if he goes to a different team that's not a
Who?
champion team?
Who?
He's talking about Usman Zhang, I think.
Well, that shit.
Yeah,
That's,
either way,
that
because
shit
it's
might
like I
sell.
think there's a give or take.
Hypothetically, if you are a team that for whatever reason, OKC lose the series, say, oh, we need to go get a star. If you are the
I'm not taking
Suns,
that
are you
chance.
intrigued by Ousmane Dieng?
Probably not. Probably not. The only reason I say for him is just literally he hasn't really had. It's a give or take because if he was that, he'd probably fight
be
for
playing,
some more
yeah.
minutes. But on the other side, it's literally like we got our.
I mean, AJ
rotational
Mitchell
guys.
plays over him. AJ Mitchell was a second rounder from this year.
Yeah.
So,
So that's the point. Is like if
I mean,
he was that,
I know their
he'd probably
positions
be
are not
fighting
the
for some
same,
more
but
minutes.
even Kenrich Williams is like Kenny Hustle. Is
Hey, he's
older.
a vet though.
Yeah, that's my guy. Shout out to
That's
Kenny
a
Hustle.
vet.
Kenny Hustle was a Kenny for All-Star like 6 years ago,
Mhm.
and he's still doing his thing. Shout out to Kenny Hustle.
2013. Let's see if there was any. I mean, do y'all think?
2013 is
Is
that Giannis's draft?
I mean, 2023.
Oh, okay.
Do y'all think like Bilal Coulibaly was a project?
Yeah. I
The
give you that.
Thompson twins to me were projects.
I can see that too.
Yeah, because it was coming from
Pure athleticism.
overtime.
Just raw. Yeah. Take back everything I said then, because it is still happening.
Let me
Those
see.
are success stories in my opinion.
Yes,
The Thompson
yeah,
twins are
big-
both great.
Big success stories.
And then Bilal, the jury's still out, but he's a lot better than the other guys that we
Yeah.
mentioned, for sure. For sure. Yeah. How do y'all, if y'all were a GM, you got pick number 7. Not one of the picks that you like a guaranteed Wembanyama or Paolo Banchero. Would you have pick 7?
It really depends on
What
the
team
state of
am
my
I?
team.
Yeah, that's
Who has pick 7 this year?
The
Let's just-
Pelicans.
okay, oh my God, no, hell no, get a different pick. That could go 100 different directions. Let's go pick
Jazz at
5.
5.
Let's go 5. Yep. Jazz at 5.
5.
Do you take a high upswing pick because you just don't have a lot of shit going on? Do you go maybe a little bit safer? Do you go feel for game? Do you go projectables? Like, what is your mindset?
I'm
as
going a
general
little
manager?
bit of both.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing something with the Jazz. I have like a secret series on my channel with the Jazz. I took Carter Bryant at 5
Wow.
because there's tools for him to have a high ceiling, but there's foundation to have a really good
it's
floor.
a high floor too. So
Where I
it's like
can
I
pitch-
feel like I'm safe with my pick right
Yes.
here.
At the worst, I have a starter on a really good playoff team.
Yeah.
At best, he's one of
Because
my
I
top
think it's
3
nothing
players.
worse for you to have that pick and you just miss.
I gotta
Like,
have some
I'd rather
upside
have
too,
something
though.
than just miss.
But I also gotta have some type of upside where we can make this into a star player.
yeah.
But at the worst case, you know what I mean? Like, that's why it's like Colin Murray Boyles. People love him.
I think he's the most polarizing guy in the draft, right? Maybe not the most polarized, but he's super polarizing.
He's
considering
polarizing.
He can't shoot.
But I think this is why he's polarizing.
Let me show you a clip. I was watching some film and I was like, no fucking way.
I think he's a really good player, and I think a lot of people would watch him and think he's a really good player. He becomes polarizing when people start putting him at 2 and 3 or 4 on a board.
Right.
I've seen that clip.
Realistically,
Look at that 4-second clip that I've screen record watching footage of this man.
It's just him
When
shooting.
I tell you he threw the ball so fucking hard at the rim, it was a bucket. But I don't know if I've ever seen the ball thrown at the rim that fucking hard.
and it was over somebody bigger than him too.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like a player like him, I think you set him up for failure when you put him at 4. I think the value of Draymond Green was that he wasn't drafted at 4. If you draft Draymond Green at 4, I don't think we're talking about Draymond Green the same way. And I think that's the bridge that we got to figure out in the draft community in the NBA, where there are really good players. I was big on Andrew Nembhard. The moment he got drafted, I said steal. It's going to be a steal of a pick. But I wouldn't have gone to say you should have drafted Andrew Nembhard at 5.
Yeah.
I said the same thing about Herb Jones. Herb Jones was a steal because I've seen him at Alabama do a lot of different things. I wasn't vouching for him to go top 5. And I think we do revisionist history. It was like, let's do a redraft of the 2019 draft. And you got a 33rd overall pick, and we talking about, let's put him at number 2. It don't work like that. I think there are certain players who value goes up in certain scenarios, like CMB. CMB isn't a scorer. We know that. But he's a guy that can cover a lot of the holes on the team, like Philly. Like if Philly was a playoff team that was going to be fully healthy next year, we can guarantee that they were going to have Maxey, McCain, PG, and B. I think you could probably slide CMB at the 4-day fucking one.
Mm-hmm.
But now if you're telling me you taking CMB with the Hornets, it's totally different.
yeah.
Shout out to
Totally
our
different.
Hornets, man.
Yeah.
Team of the day.
They should take a guy who is 18 and 19 who can come in there.
That's the scary part about the Hornets, for sure.
That's true because they just did it last year.
and the year before that, and the year before that, and the year before that.
They're the team I think they
James Bouknight was.
see. They're a team they need a lot of upside too, just because they just don't have much. And
I
would
wouldn't
say they
mind a
could try to go
CMB
for the
going
floor.
there, but they're so hurt that it's like if you get a right now guy
and LaMelo is going to be hurt again, and Mark Williams is going to be hurt again.
You're not even going to get the full effect of
But in
college.
theory, on paper, the Hornets could be a suited team for a CMB because they would have your franchise guy.
They can use pick 4 to trade down to 12, and we give them Lonzito and pick 12 so they can take CMB.
And then they had the brothers.
Yeah, they got the brothers and.
But then those are now 2 ball brothers who have been hurt. Brandon Miller had a hurt injury year last year. Mark Williams couldn't get traded because of his injury history. So you gotta. That's the tough thing about the Hornets. And 2K is easy to do because these dudes are gonna be healthy.
Yeah.
But in real life, it's like they ain't that far away, but then they be hurt, and it's like they are far away.
I believed in them going into this season. I believed in them.
They just can't stay healthy.
I do like CMB,
They also
though.
weren't very good when they were healthy, but if you can never stay healthy, you don't have time to build what it's like to be healthy.
Usually we get like the first month of LaMelo and relatively healthy team, and like they'll have some games where they're battling against the Celtics.
I remember they had a
like
really
that.
good game against the Pacers, I believe.
Yeah.
I remember watching, and they were like really, really hooping.
Was that a playback stream? I like vaguely remember that game too.
Oh, maybe that's why. But yeah, I think that's the toughest thing about the draft is like I see a lot of guys that I like. I see things there.
Did Halliburton hit a game winner against them?
Oh, maybe. But it's all about where you go. I think where you go and the situation is sometimes even more important than the fucking talent, if we being honest. You could be as talented as you want to. If you go to the wrong situation, they ain't properly using you, we'll never really see that talent. And if you ain't that talented, but you go in a situation that need the one thing that you do great, you may look really fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I can never be like a real scout or a real GM. I would miss on so many picks. I would last 2 years max.
But that's fine. But you could hit on your Giannis.
No, because I probably wouldn't have taken that swing at pick 15 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I would be drafting Cedric Howard this year.
You know, I remember the days like
Which would be a bad pick. But where would you draft him at?
I don't know.
Would you draft him 5? No
No,
fucking way you
no, I
draft
wouldn't
him
draft him
5 to the
5.
Jazz.
No,
Yeah.
not to the
I
Jazz.
remember the days when this had to be like 2K. This is when we first kind of met each other. We was playing 2K or whatever, and I remember Giannis was like a 60-something overall, but he was
Put him
putting
at
him
the
at
point
point guard,
guard.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, this dude over here cheesing this stuff.
Jason Kidd used to watch my YouTube videos, buddy.
Yeah,
that was the days. I used to love that Bucks team.
yeah.
That's when Larry Sanders was a dog on 2K. You couldn't score on him. OJ Mayo.
Jared Bayless.
I like vaguely remember him hitting a game winner versus the Hornets.
Who?
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
mean, If it don't come out, then you probably didn't.
No, well, yeah, the internet is not working, buddy. I would know my answer right now for sure.
Man.
Oh, you know what it was? He got clamped up by LaMelo. That was the game that he got clamped up by LaMelo. LaMelo poked the ball loose with 0 seconds left.
Yes, that is.
There we go. I knew it had something. It was something very important
My boy
happening.
said,
He
hey,
kind of treated you on the lowest of keys.
called your ass stupid. If you don't pop up, you know that means it don't exist. You going to try to buy that Switch too?
See, I was trying to look up videos. I was trying to look up videos of Bigfoot, but they never showed them. So it probably mean it don't exist.
Hell no.
How you been liking the Switch 2?
But that's all I've been playing. Shit, I've
Same.
been playing that more than my PC.
For real, how about you? Same
Same.
thing?
But it's nothing. What we're playing right now is not a Switch 2 game. That game was
I
available
know
on
that's
Switch 1.
but what I've heard though,
We got some
Switch 2.
DLC. There's some DLC you
Switch
can add.
they said the Switch 2 runs it a lot better though.
I did
Well,
hear
that's
that.
true,
I
yeah,
did hear
yeah.
that.
Like yeah,
Because I played this game on the Switch 1 and dropped it after like the 3rd gym.
Is the Switch 2 bigger or smaller?
It's
bigger.
It's bigger?
Screen
Yeah.
bigger.
Bro. My only downside is that the battery life still stinks, bro.
It
It does. It does.
It's really bad.
Like
You
how
gotta-
long?
like,
how long does one
Probably
2
like a few
hours?
Oh, damn.
2.5 hours, maybe?
Yeah.
That's not enough.
I was playing Mario Kart yesterday, and like, I was supposed to have my family come over, like over the last weekend or whatever, and we was gonna play it. But I got the Mario Kart shit set up so nice in my front room. Like, I'm having that shit out when we have the spades party.
Mhm.
You can also hop on the Mario
When
Kart.
you having a space party?
I was thinking about that. I was maybe the
After
week.
this trip?
Yeah, probably the weekend after the trip.
Okay.
Cool.
Do a little spades.
That's how I was when I
Mario
got the
Kart.
Switch 1, by the way. I don't know if y'all remember them kickbacks right after Switch
Yeah.
1 came out. I had the Switch out there.
Yep.
I forget what game we was trying to play, but nobody gave a damn after like 5 minutes.
I still got the clip on my phone, and you and John was just playing some shit. I don't know if it was on the Wii.
It was
The
was it the
Switch.
gun thing? Will they get to be the first one to raise your gun?
I don't
it's like
know,
the
but it's
shootout
just like
thing?
they're just like intoxicated and they're just going back and forth like this with the controllers, and I'm just like,
get
they just look so goofy. I gotta find it though, but it was hilarious.
Those old kickback videos definitely are funny. None of them can surface to the earth.
Of like that D-Mills
When he was
freestyle.
freestyling. Yes. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Speaking of freestyling, man, we came into the show yesterday. Pierre got 6 boxes, a TV. You're like, what the hell going on? I look over there. He got a Shure SM7B. I'm like, oh, shit, what's going on?
So, yeah, let's put that out there. There's no more excuses for these guys if they want to do something musically. We got a whole studio in the office now.
We got a studio in the studio, man.
Yep.
A studio in the studio inside the studio.
I got everything. I got the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 4th generation. I got the Mac Mini.
I've never seen a Mac Mini in person. I got to go check that out.
I got the SM7B. I'm about to set it up after we finish this. Install Pro Tools, and then I got to put the mic stand up, and we good.
Come on, I'm ready, man.
And then we record the same thing we did with Go Talk. That's how we did Go Talk, and then just send it off to engineer. My boy Darian, have him.
Derek,
mix
are
it.
you hopping in the booth or?
I'll hop on a song.
I'm in the booth with marijuana.
Hey,
Damn.
But we got to cook up something though, Mike. The people been asking. I'm gonna figure something out. Maybe find a way to be able to make the setup mobile, and if we record, put it in a stream room, and stream the process of doing some shit just to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Black Boy Max retired, so like somebody can do the music.
Yeah, he's been gone. They
He's
said
been gone. Yeah.
he's been gone.
I think he's taking some time. I mean,
I
there was
thought
a
he said-
percentage of people that didn't like his album that might have.
Oh, for real?
Oh, I thought he said something about taking a break, or like he was gonna take some shit off just because like
'Cause
everything he had going on was just too much.
He
like,
was trying to do
mentally.
365, which is
I
just
saw
an
that. That's crazy.
insane-
That's crazy.
I don't know. Like, if you told me that as your friend, I would be like, well, he also was making probably millions while doing it, but still, I would be like, you got to
DDG showed that 12
days
mil.
off.
Yeah, he was making 12 million.
No,
he made 12
no,
million
he
in a
wasn't.
month.
No, he
In
didn't.
a month
He
of.
inspected it.
Oh,
You can
okay.
change it. He ain't make no fucking
Okay.
12 million.
When
in a
I
month.
seen that, I said, boy, I see
Wait,
right.
who was
not
that
on
that
Twitch
posted
at
that?
least.
I saw
Who was
it.
DDG.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Like, there's no way.
He ain't make 12
That's
million.
what I said. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. If
12 million.
I'm like, that's what Mac
It
Boy.
had showed that he had like 40,000 active subs.
That's why
Yeah,
I
that don't
saw
even
that and
add
I
up.
said, that's why Playboy Max said 360.
But somebody in the comments was like, this shit mean that Kai Cenat just like damn near a
Who?
billionaire.
Who?
Kai Cenat.
Okay.
Well, I get that a lot. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
Cat just did the BET Awards yesterday.
Yeah, he was streaming at the BET
Yeah,
Awards.
that was nice.
They saw him meeting Wale and didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
He ain't no Wale.
No.
What's
That's crazy.
what's her name? Used to be in a bunch of black sitcoms. She was a mom. Lisa Ray.
Yes, Lisa.
Lisa Ray daughter was like, "Can I get a pic?" And Lisa Ray's taking a pic. So I'm like, Kai, that's fucking Lisa. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be like, oh, I remember watching you in the TV show. Yada yada yada. He did make Thug too.
Oh, he did.
Him and Drewski.
I seen he meet
I like consuming that content with the clips.
I seen
I don't know
he-
if
I
would be
saw
able
when
to
they met
sit down.
Kendrick and
Yeah,
Drewski didn't acknowledge Kendrick.
Oh, for real? See, I
Yeah.
didn't see that clip.
Kendrick had won the album of the year, and Kendrick was walking through the tunnel, and Kai and Drewski were there. And Kai dapped him up, but then Drewski kind of just stepped to the side.
I
Is
seen the one that
Drewski
said
big Drake? Oh yeah, he's a big Drake guy. What am I talking about?
I
For
seen the one
sure.
that said that SZA introduced Kai to Kendrick, whatever, and Kai was looking just like weird or whatever because they said Kai is like he's close with Drake.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Some of that times that shit you just gotta put that shit away.
Yeah,
Like,
it's been 7 years. At least that's what it feels like. It's been a very long
I
time.
think the
since that
longer
shit
you
happened.
keep it out, the longer it's just like the more we just ignore it, it's gonna go away.
So Kai dapped up Kendrick, right?
Yeah,
Who was taller?
they were at the same height. I think
I feel like Kendrick.
it was
taller
Kendrick
than
though. Yeah,
Okay. Because I think Kendrick was 5'5".
yeah.
5'5" is crazy.
This, by the way,
Hey man, you know, there's nothing he can do about it.
5'5"
I've never
is
had this
crazy.
in this way. I've only had it in that little box that they sell on the shelf.
Oh, what is that?
It's overnight oats.
Oh,
You seen the thing, right?
yeah, the overnight oats at Trader Joe's.
No, this is a company.
Oh, no, I never.
You don't
seen
see
it.
the branding, overnight
Yeah.
oats.
Yeah, no, I never.
You've
seen
never
that.
seen this before?
Mm-mm.
You've seen? Yes, you have. You've told me that you've seen the little thing. You can like go on Jewel and get the little thing, and you.
Mm-mm.
Oh. Well, never mind. I thought we had that conversation.
They have a packets that you can buy from
Yeah.
them, and then they have like a thing in jewel that's kind of pre-made, and you put like milk or water in a bottle, and you sit.
I
Hey.
think we talked about the Trader Joe's. They have a packet of already made overnight oats that you could just grab, open, and eat them.
Right. So this brand got that too, but this is like I made it.
Okay.
I took their packet and I made it, and it's way better than the pre shit they try to sell in the store.
Okay.
This is back to basketball just for a quick second.
For sure.
If you're the Dallas Mavericks, do you allow Jason Kidd to take the interview with the Knicks, or you just say no? This is our coach. Fuck off.
I would say no, but if he's acting like he want to, then shit.
Yeah. If
Don't
if
hold him
he's-
hostage.
Yeah, if he's that determined on he wants that Nick job and I don't want a disgruntled coach in my locker room. That's my thing. If a coach is disgruntled, he's not going to give you the best product. He's not going to give a fuck.
I feel like Jason Kidd is in a win-win, man.
Yeah.
You going to the Knicks or you going to?
Do they trade him?
That's like they would have to, right? Because he's still under
I think
contract.
they could buy him out of his contract so he can become a.
But the last disgruntled coach we seen was Monty Williams. I feel like it's hard. Like, if you don't want the job, don't take the damn job. Then there's like ain't nothing stopping you from leaving.
I mean, his contract.
We haven't had a coach trade since
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers in
Rivers.
2007.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to.
No.
They got traded to the Clippers.
The last coach trade.
Oh,
was
it's him.
Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd got traded from the Bucks to the Nets for 2 second-round picks.
He's just gonna have all of the history of him getting traded, huh? Nuts.
When he won out, you should say, "Hey, I want this job now."
They did that after he threw them drinks on the court.
Did y'all see Boogie getting drinks and food thrown on him?
I did see that. Yeah.
That shit was.
I didn't know the
crazy.
context though. I mean, there's no context to make it worth it. But I
Some
still.
fan touched him when they was like courtside. One of the fans courtside had like touched him or some shit, and so it just escalated from there. He got ejected, and then fans started throwing food and drinks on him because he was giving them the finger as he was walking out.
That sucks.
And then they had to like tackle him on the ground and stop him from running in the crowd.
That's a
the
big
fans started
motherfucker,
going
bro.
crazy, bro.
Yeah, they started
What league is he
chucking
in right now?
everything at
Y'all
him.
know what league he's
Puerto
in?
Rican. It's
Puerto
like a
Rican
Puerto
league?
Rican league.
Yeah.
Shout out, Bug.
We can rap though.
Did we talk?
My fault.
No, we can't rap. But like the Beasley, was that a linear show or did we talk about that last episode?
That
Michael
was
Beasley versus
linear.
Lance
Last
Stevenson.
episode. That was
That was
the live show.
That was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was.
so yeah,
It
we
was.
can
It
rap.
was.
Because we talked about Lil Wayne.
We appreciate y'all watching or listening to this episode of Numbers on the Board. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe. Teed up, Pierre and Dreesen, Small Ball, Kenny Beacham. Enjoy Basketball Channel.
Music coming soon.
Music coming
Go
soon.
tune in to Tag Team Talk, baby.
There you go.
Forgot about his little podcast.
That's crazy. Peace.